Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale, and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175-100, here to come in 175-2. I 200 down, got it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to PC Stadium, where tonight Lake Cumberland Sports is pleased to bring you Pulaski County and Madison Central, a game that on paper shows two teams who've struggled to find wins this year, two pretty good football teams. We'll see how this one plays out. I'm Mike Kerr. He's Chris Staten. He's had a rough week. Y'all go easy on him tonight. I'm not going to. Chris, good to see you, man. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Kerr. I've missed you this week.
You're the only person to say that.
Well, why is that?
This is you.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about
Madison Central comes in again, a team that if you look at who they've played, it'll give you some idea how they come into this game with the record that they have of 1-5. The other thing, this football team last year was an offensive machine. They put up 4,000 yards of offense almost. They had a junior running back coming back who rushed for over 2,000 yards last year. Had a quarterback coming back. He got hurt, by the way, and the junior running back is a little over 1,150 yards rushing this year, except he's doing it for Lexington Christian.
right?
And he's caught a couple hundred yards of passing. But, again, that's ifs and buts, but it happens everywhere. The young man is not here. So they've had to kind of rebuild a football team on the fly, to be honest, and they're on their third quarterback right now. And I think for me to say that they could be overlooked, you better not overlook a team that has played the schedule that this bunch has played. They have played Johnson Central. You probably hear about them every year come state championship
Pretty good
time.
team from the
Lexington
mountains.
Catholic, they've been known to be pretty good. North Laurel, who we're going to see in the very near future.
Like next week.
Scott County and Great Crossing. If you throw those names just in a pile, I can see how a team could come out on the short end. A team that I know very little about, and unfortunately it's because the statistics they have provided to the KHSAA are pretty vague
At best.
And I sat down and watched a little bit of it, and Coach Hines has graciously let me watch a little film. They showed me they've got two massive offensive linemen. They do a pretty good job running the football, and this so-called third-string quarterback is a senior. And going to be honest, Wales looks like a starting quarterback. I expected to see. Well, he more than surprised me in what I saw. So we're going to let this one play out as we go.
A couple things about them that jump out at me, Mike, is looking just, seeing them in person for the first time. They pass the eye test.
Yeah, they do.
They have some really good-looking athletes. And you mentioned, chronicled, the injury bug has hit them pretty hard. So they've got some younger players that have had to step up. So maybe we're catching them at a good time, hopefully. But like you said, the teams they've played are not nothing to be sneezed at. And the other thing that number-wise, they have the exact, if I'm not mistaken, maybe by one or two that I'm missing variants, but they have the exact numbers that Corbin brought over here. And so, you're bringing 94 or so odd kids for a 6A program. There's obviously some depth and some athletes that may surprise us tonight.
Oh, I think we're going to be surprised. They have always had a tradition of being a good football team. And just this time of year, records will get you in a lot of trouble.
Right.
That is our White's Cabinets. Keys to the game. The keys to the game are brought to you by White's Cabinets. At White's Cabinets, they provide their customers with friendly service. They value your business, and it's their mission to provide reliable products and services. Courteous and professional team at White's Cabinet Design Center can turn your vision into reality. Visit White's Cabinet Design Center on the corner of South 27 and Slate Branch to learn more about what they can do for you. Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Sports Medicine, we are glad to have them along with us, Dr. Jesse Pace and Dr. Patrick Jenkins of Lake Cumberland Orthopedics. Don't know anything about the injury report other than that Mr. Hooker will not be in the lineup for Pulaski this week. Sports medicine for athletes of all levels, from the weekend warrior to the professional. In Lake Cumberland Orthopedics, our goal is to get each patient back to the highest level of physical activity possible. They're proud to support local athletics by serving as team physicians for Lindsey Wilson College, Southwestern, Somerset, Pulaski County, and Wayne County High Schools, and other athletes throughout the Lake Cumberland region. Be sure to check our Facebook page each week for our Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Student Athlete of the Week. Partner, we are the Buffalo Wings and Rings Video Game of the Week this week. And we want to invite you to sit back and relax and enjoy this one. Buffalo Wings and Rings, created your way, always fresh, never frozen. Next week is at Southwestern in Taylor County. Kevin, your video wings next week. Southwestern in Franklin County. That's what I was thinking. So next week, our Buffalo Wings and Rings game will be from Southwestern. That will be a good Franklin County football team rolling into the reservation, and we are good, I think, or are we good?
For what?
I don't
turning
knobs and stuff.
We're trying to get ready for the coaches show. We had didn't have everything hooked up what we needed to have hooked up for that. But
are we there?
You got a chance to sit down with Coach Hines and talk about a little bit about this game tonight. And I think we're going to step out and listen to that coaches show. And we come back, we will give you starting lineups, and we'll go through everything and get you set for action, set to kick off about 24 minutes from now at 7:30. So you still got time to come on out to Pulaski High School and watch the game in person. If not, sit back, enjoy, and Mike and I will try to do our best to bring the action to you.
Good week of practice?
We've had a good week. I'm proud of our kids. They've come out and competed hard, and I believe we got a little better. We're still fundamenting them to death each week. And
Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale, and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 17500, here to come in 175.2. I 200 town down and count it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
Okay, well, we thought we were going to listen to Mike Kerr and Coach Hines have a pregame show here.
Don't give up yet.
Well, we're still working on it. We may bring it to you yet.
It's priceless. You'll want to hear it. Now, if we don't, I think I paid enough attention that maybe I can give you some idea what Coach Hines said. Coach Hines was pleasantly surprised at his team's effort last week. He keeps saying they're getting better every day in practice. That's what you look for as a coach. You try to get better every day in practice. He said they are starting to get healthy, which this time of year is always a blessing. And, they're tonight facing a challenge, and then after that, it's 3 district games that are going to decide a whole lot about your season. This one is not going to impact, well, it will impact things like RPI and some things like that, but you need to get a little momentum, and last week was a step.
Always.
Did you say hold it?
No, you could go on. Go ahead.
I'm going to keep talking then. If you are familiar with Madison Central and the history of that program, they have played Pulaski County 8 times in the history of these two programs. It sounds like a whole lot, except they last played in 1993. Pulaski is 1-8 against Madison Central. They won that game in 93, the last time these two teams played. And as a result, they are 1-8. John Hines been the coach here now for 25-plus seasons, the head coach. He has never coached against a Madison Central football team as a head coach.
Let me try something.
These two programs probably are going to start seeing more of each other because the scheduling issues make it harder to get people that are wanting to play against these bigger schools. And Madison Central is a 6A school, and they bring in a team that, by all rights, probably not pleased with what's been going on with theirs to this point. And so they will come in, and they, as we said, they're going to start a senior at quarterback in KJ Wells. And he has stepped in. He had played receiver last year on this football team and has had to step in after they lost their starting quarterback in game 1 and lost the backup a couple of games after that. He's surrounded by 2 running backs in DeBruce and Mathis that are pretty good football players, and Coach Hines was very impressed with what they did on film. And I think, they will move the football. Pulaski County will probably move the football. They're pretty good at that too. The team that gets it into the scoring area and puts points on the board will probably win this thing, he said. Last week, just to give you an idea, Madison Central kicked the 30-yard field goal in the fourth quarter. That's just something to put in your memory banks that they do have that weapon. Pulaski attempted their first field goal of the season last week from a similar yardage, and it did not come through. So again, we are about 19 minutes away from the kick. And the officials are gathering, anxious to see how many we have tonight. We have been having anywhere from a 5-man crew to a 7-man crew. And my math says we're going to have a 5-man crew tonight. So the officials have not been, or Pulaski County has not been the recipient of a friendly flag this year. Are you all ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to go see if we can find Coach John Hines and see what he has to say about this game. And good evening, everyone, and welcome into the John Hines Show. Here we're just a few minutes away from the opening kick of Pulaski's second straight home football game. Tonight they will entertain the Indians of Madison Central. Coach Hines has joined us. Coach, good to see you.
Well, thank you, Mike. It's always good to see you guys, and Lake Cumberland Sports having you aboard.
Good week of practice?
We've had a good week. I'm proud of our kids. They've come out and competed hard, and I believe we got a little better. We're still fundamenting them to death each week. And, in high school ball, Mike, for us Tuesday and Wednesday practices are the tough days when you really got your full gear and you do a lot of work and fundamental drills and such. And we really had probably as good a 2 days as we've had, and I hesitate to say that because it may not show Friday night, but I was really pleased with what we got done this week.
Last Friday night, we talked about before the game a few things that you really needed for your program to have happen. You needed to get a district win, you needed to get a win at home, you needed to taste a win, and you needed to cut down on the turnovers and the penalties. And it seemed like that just about took check marks down the road on that one.
Well, we did. We got what we wanted done. In each game from here on, of course, is a rung on the ladder, if you will. And so we took the first step that we needed to take. As you mentioned, is a district win. That puts us 1-0 in the district, and that's where we wanted to be after the first round. Puts us in a good position playing the 6A powerhouse Madison Central this week, which gives us an opportunity with a win over a 6A school. It really helps our RPI ranking when it comes into the season and playoff seeding and such as that. So every game is a big step for us, and we've got to continue to climb and try to get better all along the way.
Someday when you and I've got some time to kill, I'm going to put down on one of these recordings your opinion and my opinion of RPI, but that's another dog for another day.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look quickly at your team, and then we'll jump into Madison Central. You've got a quarterback in Zach Anderson who does not, on the field or in his numbers, look like a first-year quarterback. I think he's 12 touchdowns now and 3 picks, and I can give you 2 of those picks that not necessarily are his. He's throwing for a little over 200 yards a game and making good decisions. You said he was going to be a really good quarterback. Has he reached the really good quarterback stage yet, or is this still a work in progress?
I think he's doing a great job. We're awful pleased with Zach and the leadership he's showing as a young player. Obviously, his skill work on the field has been very, very good. We just think there's so much more there. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of like the iceberg, you know. Zach's upside is tremendous, but he's played very well to have only started 6 varsity football games in his career as a quarterback. Of course, there's nothing new to playing. He played most every game last year as a freshman as a tight end. So he's been way better than expected.
Then you've got a running back in Kason Brock who's over 600 yards rushing already, on his way, unless something gets in the way of that, to a 1,000-yard season, which you and I talked about this the other day. 2013, last time you had a 1,000-yard rusher. That would have been Caleb Cox.
Caleb Cox, I believe that's right.
I think that's correct, Coach. So, again, he's off to a great start. And I sat down and tried to do some math. I've got almost 250 yards of runs that have been called back on penalties in 6 games against this young man. So, anyway, he's over 650 on the season, and last week had a run or 2 to where he just refused to be tackled.
He's a tremendous young running back. He really is. Only a freshman. And so he's really opened some eyes because he doesn't act like a freshman on the field. He looks like a veteran player.
He does.
He's been around a long time. Catches the ball really well out of the backfield. He's got, I don't know what his stats are. He got several receptions.
He's about 118 for 174, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So he's a true double threat guy, and he's a guy that other teams have to game plan against, you know. And as you said, we haven't had one of those in 10 years, so it makes a lot of difference. But when opponents have to worry about how we might run the ball in this situation as opposed to throwing it in this situation, it makes you doubly tough to defend.
We're going to shortchange Denmeyer tonight. He's over 600 yards receiving already. We've talked about him a little bit in a couple of our shows. I want to jump. The offensive line has played well, even with injuries. But the defensive side of the football, I don't know how much credit that defensive front is getting away from here, but I have a feeling the coaching staff understands just how well that bunch has played.
They have really been the unsung hero, as you said, in the first half of the season. Sam Whitaker is a defensive end. Brody Johnson, he's a first-time starter as a senior. Brody Johnson's a sophomore playing on the D-line. And then, of course, Jay Bales. We knew what Jay Bales had. He'd been a 3-year starter and been a dominant player for a long time. Those guys have just done a terrific job on the defensive front. Outside linebackers, Ethan Idleline and Trey Hornsby. And then, as of late, Broderick Finley have really made plays on the edge. And Ethan is as solid a defensive player as we've had in a long, long time. You start to see so much out of him that you kind of get jaded how good he really is because he does it so well, makes it look so easy. And our inside linebacker play has improved dramatically. We've struggled with youth there and guys that haven't played much. We got a true freshman in Brian Ramirez playing in there. He gets better every week. Gunnar Lovelace is a junior who never played inside linebacker before. This spring we moved him in there and he's doing very well. And some young players behind him, Ben Pritchard and Dunaway, are fine young linebackers. And then we're looking forward to bringing back Colton Kane, who's been out injured since the week of the first game. Actually,
Right.
Didn't even get to play. Hasn't played in a game yet. A young sophomore linebacker who'll be back not tonight, but next week, hopefully. And so we're starting to get better there and develop some depth there as well. Maddox Dunaway, I couldn't think of his
Yes,
first name.
I'm like you. Those happen, Coach, more often as you get older.
But that defensive front has really played above and beyond what we expected.
Not to shortchange any of the other players that we haven't mentioned. They only give us 10 minutes to do this. You and I can talk for an hour. Let's jump to Madison Central then, because you've got them coming in tonight. They have a quarterback in KJ Wells that you described as a game manager. He runs the show for this outfit. They like to run the football.
They are a run-heavy team, and as you mentioned, KJ is actually their third quarterback of the season. Their first two were injured and are going to be out for some time. So they've had some struggles there, and it takes away from their passing game. They do have some nice receivers, but I think they struggle a little bit in the passing game, and I probably shouldn't say that. They may throw it all over the lot tonight. But they like to run the ball. They're big and strong up front, very physical on the offensive line. They've got 2 or 3 good, strong running backs, and so they're going to make their living between the tackles and trying to pound us.
You told me they're going to make their living between the tackles. Let's talk about – they got a couple tackles that you said one is a legit D1 going to get us, and the other one just on size and passing the look test. What did you say, 6'7", 3 what?
6'7", 320. So, yeah, he'll get an offer from somebody.
He's got offers already for
showing
that.
up.
But
yeah, and the other young man at number 54, his name slips my mind if you've got the roster handy.
I do. Go ahead now.
He is as good an offensive lineman as we've seen all year.
Alden
Really
Howard
is.
is his name.
And that includes the folks at Corbin. Not to shortchange those guys,
I
they're very
understand.
good. But this dude is really, really good. He comes off the ball quickly, and he's very physical. I think I'm told he has offers from Miami of Ohio as well as some other MAC schools. So he's a dandy, and they've got several others. They're very big on the offensive and defensive front, and really try to beat you up and out physical you on the line of scrimmage.
Which means that defensive front and linebackers we talked about a few minutes ago, as well as the safeties and corners, are going to have their hands full come Friday night. You said they like to play a 4-3 defense. That is a base defense, a standard. Do they do anything really different out of it, or is it pretty much what you expect when you see a 4-3 team?
They're pretty standard. They're very fundamentally sound. Of course, Coach Blair, the head coach there, is a guy that we all know well. He was a defensive coordinator at Southwestern for many years under Larry French and does a great job. He's a defensive-minded coach, and so they're very fundamental and very sound. Blitz when they need to, and it usually turns into a big play. They don't make a living on that. They let their 4 big defensive linemen control the line of scrimmage, and they're very solid in the secondary. So a very, very good high school defense paired with a very strong run offense makes for a tough test tonight for us.
This season is unbelievably well past the midpoint. We're, as you said, onto those ladder rungs, as you refer to them now. This is not a district game, but if you're going to keep climbing, this is one that you need, right?
It is. The RPI that we mentioned before, which is a bizarre, to me, way of ranking teams. But that's
Corbin's
what you
fifth
go
right
to.
now in their division, and
Yeah.
and they're
That
closely
tells you a
followed
lot,
by
doesn't it?
Boyle County at seventh, I think.
Yeah.
So let's leave that alone.
Yeah. But we have to live with it. But one of the things that can help the RPI ranking immensely is a victory over a bigger school. So
Right.
Madison Central being a 6A school, we're a 5A school, so a win would be a big boost to us in the RPI ranking. So that's one reason to play it, and we told our kids about that as well. But I told them also this week in practice, none of that really matters. Bottom line is it's football, and that's what we do. And it doesn't matter who you play, and it doesn't matter when. We'll play at 2 o'clock in the parking lot if we have to. There's going to be a great crowd. We've had great crowds this year, and we're excited about that. It's Youth League night. We're going to recognize all of our Youth League teams and coaches and everybody in PCYFL, so we're thrilled about that. And all them little future Maroons will be running around out here. So it's a great opportunity just to go out and play football with your buddies and see how good we can be.
Going to wish you best of luck as we always do. Let's do a shout out for Brian Miller. I know Coach Miller, the AD here at PC, just chatted with him a little bit. He's still struggling a little bit, still fighting the good fight, and love to see him back with us.
Brian is a heck of a man, and he's battling some issues, and we appreciate all that he does for us behind the scenes, and hope you're back soon, buddy.
See you in about 3 hours. Go get one.
Thank you, buddy.
He's John Hines. This is Lake Cumberland Sports. We'll be back with the opening kick just after this on Lake Cumberland Sports.
Kemper family at Kemper Home Furnishings in London and Somerset has been in business for 60 years and counting, selling nothing but the top-selling, best-built furniture brands in America at the absolute lowest prices. We focus on treating you like family with a sales staff that knows their stuff and a super fast and professional Kemper delivery team. Kemper has the biggest inventory in the region, so you get what you want when you want it. Any building can be a house, but Kemper makes it home.
My role as market leader here in Somerset is to ensure that customers have a great experience. Having somebody that you feel comfortable with to talk about, your finances, your next move, your goals in life. We try to be that person. We try to be there to help and guide you the best way that we know how. In my opinion, that's what separates us from other lending institutions. We are a small bank. We care about the community that we serve and all the businesses that are involved.
Looking for cash? Well, look no more. Alton Blakely's got cash. Is that cash, Daniel?
Yep.
And you're giving cash for cars?
Yep. For real? Yep.
Why not? Then on down to Alton Blakely, where selling your car is as easy as ABC. If you have a vehicle you'd like to sell or trade, it's fast and easy to get paid. And we'll give you top dollar. Visit Alton Blakely today. All the best since 1965.
Out here in the real world, we've spent too much time waiting around and wondering if we'll ever get to be what we really want to be. Now it's time to move forward, and with a little help from Somerset Community College, you can finish that degree or start a whole new life as an IT VIP, a healthcare hero, and more in less time and for less money than you think. The time is now. The place is here. Never underestimate you.
And welcome back to PC Stadium as we get ready for the meeting of the captains at midfield. And we're so glad you joined us tonight. Once again, our Buffalo Wings and Rings video game of the week. And I want to thank the good folks at Entrust Healthcare Counseling Services, made it their mission to be the trusted leader in promoting health in Kentucky mental health in Kentucky for the last 24 years. They personalize your service to meet your needs, whether it be in the office, over the phone, or on the computer. Call Entrust at 606-676-0638 to get services started today from anywhere in Kentucky. You can always visit their Facebook page at Entrust Healthcare Counseling Service to learn more about how they can help you or your family. At Entrust, your mental health matters. My math came into play prior to the John Hines show. I said I could only see 5 officials. We might have a 5-man crew. Well, 2 more came in Ubered during the John Hines show. We've got a 7-man crew, Chris.
First time this year, if I'm not mistaken, that we've had 7-man crew, and that's a good thing. There's too much stuff that can be missed and not seen with just a 5-man crew. So, well, but just be prepared when there is a flag thrown tonight. There may be a little lengthy conversation to get decision made.
Are you insinuating that our white hat tonight might be deliberate at times in getting things finished?
I said what I said.
You said what I said, Junior.
Captains tonight.
All right, let's have a little fun.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for Pulaski. You'll break through the banner to our right while the captains are still meeting. I'm going to ask for an over or under guess. We'll get a view of the sidelines here in a few minutes. And how many cheerleaders does Madison Central have with them tonight?
30.
30 might get close.
Well, that's
32.
The over-under. That's the number.
Well, the over right now just moved up to 32 because somebody in the booth counted them. 32 cheerleaders. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we have this tonight is the Pulaski County Youth Football League night. So we have, not only do we have the Pulaski County High School cheerleaders, we have the PCYFL cheerleaders here. So Pulaski has a very large contingent of cheerleaders. And
Pulaski has won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. So it will be Pulaski's defense, Madison Central's offense. We are just about to get this thing underway. All right, I like uniforms. This is too classic, old school, nothing crazy, just my kind of uniform night.
And I typically relate the opposing team's uniform to something to compare them to. And right now I'm struggling a little bit to come up with a comparison.
Put a little orange in it. It'd be like Florida's uniforms that they wear sometimes now that have nothing.
Yeah, but they're red, so you got the little bit darker than royal blue with the red and the white Indians. I'm struggling. I don't have anything.
Okay. They're a good-looking uniform, though.
I like it.
All right. It will be Idlewind to do the honors for Pulaski County. Glad you could join us. Sit back and relax. Southwestern has a district match tonight against Harlan County. That's also you can hear here on Lake Cumberland Sports. And Somerset, Bob and Adam have made the little short trip up to Breathitt County as they're in Jackson tonight. Hopefully everything's going well for the other local teams. We'll try to keep you posted on those. But more importantly, as soon as the officials blow the whistle, Chris is going to go to work.
Parker Mullins, Cody Morrison, and Davion DeBruce are back deep for the Indians, with Parker Mullins being the deepest of the three, standing at his own 5-yard line. Now I think we've got officials in place. And whistle blow, and Idlewind will put his foot to it, and it is a low driving kick that will be picked up by Mullins at about the 7-yard line, and he runs into Pulaski defender right there at the 15-yard line. That's Broderick Finley on the tackle. And since Broderick has been inserted into the outside linebacker spot, Mike, he has shown that he is a force. Now tonight he's wearing, looks like a little soft cast, maybe even a hard cast on that right
arm. I'll tell you one thing, he got on the field and didn't want to come off is what happened.
Right.
He finally got into the starting lineup and he's played his way back on the field.
So Madison Central will come out in a true shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 receivers in the backfield. Going to fake it. KJ will fake it to the first back through and then give it to his second man through, which is Bryant Mathis, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Nice job again. They used 2-back set. They had a lead back came through, and I thought, wow, he's got the football. No. Second man had the ball, and Pulaski did a very nice job on that one.
You mentioned in the pregame on their third-string quarterback, K.J. Wells, a 5'8", 156-pound senior. And the Indians will line up the same formation. This time he will hand it to Mathis on the sweep around the right side, and he's ran out of bounds. Maroons defense does a really good job of stringing that out.
Idlewind did a really nice job to stretch it.
And he was the one that will get credit for the tackle. Gain of 3 on the play. And the Indians will be faced with a long third down here, Mike.
Well, if you're Pulaski, 3 and out would be exactly what you would like to see. And if you're Madison Central, if you're going to control the football tonight, as Coach Hines thought they would try, you need a first down.
So Indians come out, 3 receivers spread out wide to the left, set up a screen. Idlewind tries to get there, will not make the tackle, but there are some help coming from him. Simpson is there, as well as Ramirez.
Was that Morrison on the catch, I think?
That was Morrison on the catch. Try to set up a little bubble screen, and they're only going to pick up about 2 on it, Mike, so that will bring up 4th down, and the Indians will be forced to punt.
Not to sing Idlewind's praises, but he ran the ball out of bounds on the far side on the previous play. This time he breaks up a bubble screen right in front of us.
Yeah, he was the reason why that play did not work. And Xander Simpson, who has been back on defense for a couple of games, will be back to return punts for the first time this year. And the ball will hit at about the 50. He'll catch it on one hop and trip himself up. So gain of maybe 1 on the return, and the Maroons will come out and have their first offensive possession here with 10:26 opening quarter, scoreless ball game. Maroons will have their first crack at it.
35 on the punt. Give him a couple on the return to Simpson. First punt return by him this year. It's good to see him back in the lineup. And they're using him on punt returns. That tells me he's probably well.
Anderson comes out. 3 receivers to the wide side left. He's looking that way. Now he's going to look to throw back to looks to throw back to Kaysen Brock, and he was open. Ball was thrown just a little bit high, and I think Kaysen was already looking down the field to see what kind of move he was going to put up. But he was wide open out of the backfield, Mike.
Yeah, that's the one. As you pass the quarterback on the way back into the huddle, you just kind of give him that, my bad, man. That was well designed.
Yeah. Denmeyer goes in motion. There's the hot potato pass to him on the left side. Indians doing a pretty good job of stringing it out, and will hold him to only a gain of about 2, not allowing Denmeyer to get around the corner.
Look, Chris, you and I know Denmeyer is dangerous when he gets the football in his hands. Believe it or not, most of these teams have figured that out too now.
Right. So Decker, Wilden, and Boone Godby both sporting the highlight color
How about those?
cleats tonight. Anderson drops straight back to pass, looking for Wilden on just a quick hot route to the tight end. Get it about to the 45-yard line. Gain of 5.
About 5 or 6, and Pulaski may be lined up off sides with those pretty shoes.
So 4th and 2, the Maroons will go for it. They try to draw the Indians off sides. The Indians showing pressure, too, off that right side, Mike. Middle linebacker, outside linebacker.
Absolutely.
Both showing pressure. We move Brock behind him. Changes the play. Look, there's the counter trap, and that pressure from the backside. They tried to run away from it, but you had the backside guard and tackle both pulling, and the Indians run Brock down for a loss on the play. And so 2 possessions, 1 by each team, and a turnover. Had a turnover on downs there and a punt by Madison Central, their first possession.
But they come out with the ball at the 45-yard line, so all things being equal, Madison Central
won that battle.
Yes, they cast the first stone in this one.
So 46-yard line, K.J. Wells takes the snap, drops straight back to pass, and he throws it well high. That ball fluttered coming out of his hands, Mike.
Yeah, it got away from him.
But there was good coverage there. Simpson was in coverage, and you had Cohen Finley from his safety spot coming over. If that ball had been catchable, it may have been picked off.
And that may have been what the quarterback saw, to be honest with you. He may have looked up and saw the safety, said this would be a good time to throw it to the bench.
Wells this time will send 3 receivers wide to the right, and he will keep Bryant Mathis in there behind him. Hand it off to Mathis. He's looking for some room up the middle. He bounces off a couple of tacklers. before Finley and others will drag him down on the play.
Yeah,
Finley, the brothers.
The Finley brothers, yes.
Gain of 3 on the carry will bring up another long third down, Mike. So the Maroons defense has done a good job of keeping Madison Central in long yardage situations to start the game.
Yeah, and you wonder, 4-down territory or not?
I don't know if we're there yet.
Okay.
Wells fakes, rolls out to his right, finds his receiver, a nice diving catch at about the 42-yard line, caught by Connor Radcliffe. Gain of about 9 on the reception, and that will give them a first down and move well into Pulaski territory down to the 42.
There's a big third down conversion.
And that one, when you talked about Wells' first pass fluttering, that one was while he was rolling out, and it was a dart. Now the Maroons show pressure, and Idlewild does come, and the ball carrier there, Mathis, ducked under Bales and stumbles forward. Is going to pick up about 4 on the carry.
That's good running. He, as you said, it described perfectly. He ducked under the tackle.
Yeah, that's the old tire drill.
Yeah. But if you're Pulaski, I think without a doubt the Indians are now in 4-down territory.
Yeah, I agree with you. So secondary cornerbacks switching sides, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the right. Wells will turn around and hand it off to Mathis, and he has a big hole right up the middle, and he's going to get down across the 25-yard line all the way down to the 20, Mike.
Give him 17.
Gain of 17 on the carry, and just the center of that defensive unit for the Maroons opened up.
Yep. Somebody at the second level on the inside backer got caught in the wrong gap right there.
Indians in a little bit of a hurry here. Same play. Nice move at about the 12-yard line as Mathis makes a couple of tacklers miss, and that will be a touchdown for the Madison Central Indians right at the 7-minute mark exactly.
And once again, those last 2 were too easy. Mathis has found another gear. He's already got 48 yards and a touchdown in his pocket.
So 7-minute mark. Mathis on 2 straight plays carries it for 18 and 20. Finds the end zone. The extra point snap is up and good by Peyton Gilbalt. And at the 7-minute mark exactly, the Indians lead this one 7-0.
Yeah, once again, Pulaski had a play that a misfire on a wide open pass on first down over here, and now Madison Central gets it back, puts points on the board. Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships is our official photography sponsor here on Lake Cumberland Sports. They will treat you like family, and a big thank you to them for presenting tonight's coverage of high school football. Be sure to take advantage of their end of summer savings at any of the Somerset locations. Visit them at those 4 locations or on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships. They'll treat you like family. So the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard shows Pulaski on the short end. They're down 7-0 with 7 and change to go here in the opening quarter.
So Sanders Simpson and Harris Denmeyer will stand back at the 5-yard line, and they will await the kick from Peyton Gilbalt. He will put his foot to it, and it is a short end-over-end kick that Simpson will take at the 12-yard line, and right up the middle, finds a hole, lowers his head across the 30, down to about the 31-yard line. So that's where the Maroons will get set to take their second offensive possession, trying to answer the Madison Central touchdown.
So that drive did not look like a 1-5 football team to me. Pulaski had broke huddle on the near hash. The ball had been placed on the far hash, so a little bit of a fire drill to get set up.
So Anderson Brings Brock behind him. Now he sends Ryan Anderson in motion from left to right. Fakes it to Brock, and he's looking down the field. The ball flutters out of his hands. A lot of contact. And, wow. And Denmeyer's, that's what you teach your receiver to do, what you want him to do to try to come back to the ball. And the cornerback was just face guarding him.
Yeah. There will be no pass interference on this side of the field tonight.
Wow, okay. But that was not one of
not a very
Jack's
well
better
thrown
balls.
ball. No,
yeah. It fluttered coming out of his hand.
It was.
So sets up 2nd and 10. Brock off of Anderson's left shoulder, fakes to him and finds Boone Godby on a slant pattern and hits him right in the hands and falls incomplete.
That one wasn't going to go to the house, but that one had 20, 25 yards worth of value and a drop.
Yeah, he had one man on him. You know, he breaks that tackle and he probably takes it to the house, but was going to be a big gainer and definitely enough for the first down.
Yep.
So hands it to Brock, and now here's the reverse to Idlewind. One man to miss, and a great open field tackle there by the Indians. Cornerback Jackson Pritchard one-on-one with Ethan Idlewind, and Ethan's going to pick up 3 on the reverse, but will bring out 4th and 7, and the Maroons will be forced to punt.
Well, they will be in punt formation, and I would assume they will punt, but 2 drops already early in this football game.
So Idlewind will do the punting duties, and it is a end-over-end kick that is fielded at the 35-yard line. A fair catch is called for by Cody Morrison, and the Indians will take over. Only 59 seconds off the clock, Mike.
Yeah, those are the kind of drives. One, no rest for your defense. The other piece of that one is we had a penalty on the play. I saw the end of it. Well, the white hat made a symbol, and Pat, did you see what he called?
He didn't. He put the ball right where he called the
He
fair
just told
catch,
him start the clock.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was doing down here. George was putting on an explanation when I looked up.
Well, yeah, so maybe they picked it up and waved it off, but
that's what happened.
Yeah,
it was a motion penalty against Pulaski declined.
So KJ Wells brings the offense back out. Mathis behind him. He hands it off to Mathis. 3 straight carries by him. He's not going to have the huge gainer this time, but he will pick up close to 4 on the play before he's brought down.
Mathis getting fed. That's already 7 carries. And Pulaski giving up 4 on first down. Now you put yourself where they can pretty well do what they want to on second down.
So similar formation, 2 receivers wide to the right, 2 to the left, pistol formation. Hand off again to Mathis off the right side. He cuts back up the middle and will pick up very close to yardage needed for the first down, and they will give the first down.
4th first down of the game.
It's a gain of 6 by Mathis, and you said is what that you said that's 8th carry already in this game.
He said 8 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown, and I'd say he's going to see it again.
Well, he's checked out.
Oh, he probably won't see it again.
Hayden Kaiser, or not Kaiser, that is number 42. Davion DeBruce. He gets met and brought down for a loss of 1 on the play.
You could see just not as quick to the hole as Mathis was, and somebody on the defensive front reached up and got a paw around him at the line of scrimmage.
Samuel Whitaker.
It was Whitaker, I think.
The one to kind of break things up. And they've got that wing back set formation that they used early on. Wells drops back to pass. He's got all kinds of time. He looks to throw it deep, and it's up for grabs, and it will be intercepted. And when that ball left his hand, I thought that had potential, and that will be the first turnover of the ball game. Braden Ping goes up, and there was 4 maroon jerseys, and Braden just out-jumped everybody, and that will be a interception for the Maroons defense.
Well, again, that was a flutter, a duck, whatever, a dying quail. But there were 4 maroon shirts and 2 white shirts, too, so he threw it into coverage.
Yeah. Just look to try to throw it up. I was hoping for somebody to out athleticism. Anderson rolls out to his right, looking for Denmeyer.
Dropped it.
And it is going to be one hopped. That's a pretty good play by a shortstop, but not a receiver in football.
Once again, I hate to second-guess coaches, but they've been running the football quite well, and you throw the deep ball into coverage. Don't think that was what they had in mind.
Stack formation here by the Maroons. Anderson drops back to pass, and it looks like it's going to be a run RPO, and that ball is picked off, trying to find Godby on the slant, and it's going to be undercut and intercepted by Jackson Pritchard. So far in this game, it has been almost mirror images of each other than Madison Central goes down and scores.
I think you see Mathis back in the lineup in this set.
Yeah, and I have not seen him break the huddle yet, but with 3:56 here in the opening quarter, Madison Central will take over, leading 7-0 back in Maroons territory. And you were correct, Mike Mathis checks back into the game. He's a single back beside Wells. Just a little lead handoff to him off the right side, and he's corralled there by about 6 different Maroon jerseys. But still going to carry them up to about the 46-yard line. Gain of going to give him 2 on the carry.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't hear the whistle. You might be able to. I couldn't hear the whistle up here, but obviously it had blown before the end of that scrum.
So the Indians will flip the formation, bring the lead blocker Nathan Ogle here to the left. They're going to run right behind him, and I believe that was Whitaker crashing down from his – no, that was actually Jay Bales.
That was Bales.
Yeah, that was Bales and Trey Hornsby coming together. Had a little pressure coming off the backside, and this time they corral Mathis for no gain and will bring up 3rd and 8.
Well, this is one of those, if you give up 3 or more, they'll probably go for it. If you happen to hold them here, they might punt.
Now 3 receivers come to the near side. 1 receiver split out on the far side from us. Wells looking that way. Now sets a screen up that will get it to Mathis in some space with some blockers in front. He gets across the 40 down to the 45 where he spins down. They're finally going to stop him at the 33, and that's going to be a gain of
12, 13, whatever. What'd you get?
It was 13, 14. Gain of 14. They spot the ball at the 33, and that's enough for another first down, and the Indians are threatening again here early in the first quarter.
Another 3rd and long converted by an opponent. That's one of the things that John Hines said they have got to get better at.
DeBruce checks back in the backfield, hands it to him right up the middle, and before he can get through the crease, had the middle linebacker there, one of the middle linebackers, Brian Ramirez, will make the tackle. Gain of 3 on the carry for DeBruce. Brings up 2nd and 7.
If you just joined us, Madison Central leads 7-0 on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard.
A fast-moving first quarter.
Yeah, you got a team running the football a lot. And by my count, Pulaski has got off 9 plays in this quarter.
Wells will hand it to DeBruce again, and there's Hornsby knifing in from his outside linebacker spot. And they're leaving him unblocked, thinking that they can get the hole before he can get there. And Hornsby's just doing a good job of creating havoc. Going to pick up 2, DeBruce will. Ball will be spotted at the 28-yard line. 3rd and 5, and potentially 4 down territory.
Oh, I would think without a doubt.
DeBruce will stay in. They'll bring Pritchett and Morrison wide to the near side. Wells back to pass. This one is thrown into coverage again. 4 defenders back there for the Maroons, and the ball will fall incomplete, and we're fixing to find out if it is 4-down territory, and it appears that it will be. Coach Blair talking to his senior quarterback. Still, at this day and age, you have a quarterback that runs all the way over to the sideline and gets just about every play, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
That puts out a lot of undue wear and tear on your quarterback. 45 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. 4th and 5. Maroons bring some outside pressure. Wells steps up and finds his receiver out there, Cody Morrison, and that's going to be enough, a gain of 8. And we'll give the Indians the first down that they needed, just a little stop route by Morrison. He got past the first down marker, turned around. Wells hit him, good timing on that play.
It was. The ball I thought was a little high, but it turned out to be perfectly thrown.
Well, Morrison's a little bit taller than I am.
Okay.
6'2". Wells turns and hands off to DeBruce again, and he's brought down. Well, they're still trying
out.
to. Well, yeah, didn't hear a whistle. I thought he went down fairly early, but Bryston Brown is in there, was holding on for dear life. They're going to give him a gain across the 20 to the 19, so a gain of 2 on the play, and the Indians are in the red zone, and they have decided that's enough for the first quarter. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter on Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. The Maroons trail the Madison Central Indians 7-0.
Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175-100, here to come in 175-2. I 200 down, got it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
And welcome back to PC Stadium. 1 quarter in the book. Oh, well, we've got beautiful full moon almost out in front of us, but Pulaski finds themselves on the short end. 7-0, and Madison Central driving. They're going to have it second and about 8 at the 19-yard line of Pulaski County, and the end zone is full of little people right now, so we're going to have to wait just a second.
Future Maroons down there, Mike. All of the local county programs, representative, Shopville, Nancy, Northern, Eubank,
Burnside.
I
don't know if Burnside's
Oak Hill. They are. Burnside, Oak Hill.
Well, there's a bunch of them. I'm not going to try to count them.
Southern and Pulaski Elementary. I think that's all of them.
But if you're Pulaski County, I'm going to let you in on a secret. The first quarter, you need to forget that one and start over. That was not a well-played first quarter by this Maroon football team.
Harvest Moon in your picture there.
Beautiful.
Beautiful coming over the mountains. Wells brings out the offense. He's going to hand it off to Mathis again on the carry, and he is brought down by Ramirez.
Yes.
Knifing in from his linebacker spot and able to get Mathis before he can get started, but he's going to pick up 2 on the carry. And we'd have a stoppage here for something.
Well, George is coming to the sidelines. And he's having a discussion with John Hines.
I don't know if it's a clock issue, if it's somebody on the sideline, but their score update from the other end of the county tonight. Southwestern leading that one 14-0 at the end of the first quarter.
It's over the Black Bears of Harlan County, a district matchup.
That's at Harlan, too. It's not at home.
No, it's on the reservation.
I thought it was. Now, George is going to take all the way across the field, and he's going to go over and have a conversation with Coach Blair now.
This is something that is a given with this crew. I
believe I prefaced this.
Yeah, you did, and I tried to gloss over it because I was hoping against hope. But for whatever reason, we've had
Now, George.
Now we're going to get a signal.
I don't know.
No, we're not going to get a signal. Yes, we're going to get a signal.
Nope.
No, just going to play on.
Yeah. So nobody knows exactly.
There is 2 minutes of your life that you'll never get back. That I don't know what it was all about. But good luck. 3rd and long.
And so that was over the downs or something because it had 2nd. Wells fakes it, rolls out to his right, throws back late over the middle. He will find his receiver at the 10-yard line, and he will take it all the way in from 21 yards out. Cody Morrison was going to be stopped short of the first down yardage, but makes a couple of moves, breaks a couple of tackles, and will take it in from 21 yards out. 11-16 mark of the second quarter, and the Indians extend their lead to 13 pending the PAT. Galbraith's kick is up and good, so on the Ronald D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, 11-16 here in the second quarter. Indians lead 14-0.
Since 1979, Modern Systems has been protecting communities all across Kentucky, and they're proud to be part of the communities they serve, committing time and sponsorship to numerous charities like Project 5810, Relay for Life, March of Dimes, Heart Walk, local school programs, and many more. Modern Systems, your neighbors and your friends, they work 24/7 to protect the things that matter most to you. From homes to business to schools and churches, let Modern Systems be your trusted name and security. Don't forget, we will name a Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game in the Alton Blakely postgame show. And partner, Pulaski needs a Citizens National Bank touchdown and a trip through the Rick Barker red zone to get back in this one.
Yes, they really do. And so far, their offense has sputtered. Early on in this game,
you're being kind.
Yeah, well, a couple of drop passes, and Galbraith's kick will drive Denmeyer back to the 5-yard line, and he's dead sprint right up the middle, and he gets corralled, and they're going to call a horse collar on this, Mike, and it was just one of those. He didn't get drugged down by the back of his shoulder pads. He got drugged down across the front.
Yeah, they're having a discussion, so don't assume anything. We're having a debate.
So Denmeyer will get 18 on the return, but we are waiting for the preliminary signal after the debate session. Personal foul. Oh, they're going to get him for a face mask.
And that's the first penalty of the game against Madison.
So I will apologize. I thought they were calling a horse collar. Maybe he did get the face mask. It will be additional 15 tacked on to the 18-yard return, so the Maroons will open up their first possession of the second quarter in great field position all the way up to the 40-yard line.
Pulaski had 10 yards of offense in the opening quarter.
Ryan Anderson and Denmeyer will split wide to the near side, the left side. Godby will go split out wide to the far side. Brock's in the backfield. Zach Anderson will hand it off to Kason Brock, and he will cut back into the middle of the field and pick up 5 yards on first down. So positive play on first down for the Maroons.
Pulaski going to go, well, they usually do, no huddle. I wouldn't be surprised to see them speed this offense up a little bit. Just try to get something going.
Wilton checks in at the slot here on the near side. Anderson still in the backfield. Brock gets the handoff this time, and he gets hit almost immediately and has to carry a couple of tacklers and will actually lose a yard.
He did.
On the carry. So go from 2nd and 5 to 3rd and 6.
And once again, they took Brock away, and that was with nobody loaded into the box. I mean, just a win by the defense.
So Zach brings Denmeyer in motion.
False start
going to
against the offense.
Yep, so after a positive start to this drive, a negative yardage run, and now a 5-yard penalty, and the Maroons find themselves in a 3rd and long all the way back at the 39-yard line.
We used the analogy of shooting yourself in the foot a couple games early in the season. That's taking place a little bit in this opening quarter.
So Maroons stack the 3 receivers to the near side. There's 4 defenders out there, and Anderson is under pressure. He will avoid the sack and get back across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. So a gain of 3, making something out of nothing, but it's going to be well short of first down yardage.
To your my untrained eye, was there any chance that was the beginnings of a screen or something? Because it was a jailbreak by the front.
Well, you thought maybe there was something coming back. I thought he was looking to set something up here with the 4 receivers that were stacked, or the 3 receivers, but the Indians had 4 defenders out here and was taking it away. So Idlewind will put his foot to it, and it is a end-over-end kick here to the near side that hits about the 33, checks up, does the top spin, and will come dead at the 28-yard line.
About 30 yards.
30-yard punt with no return. So 9:18 in the second quarter. Randall E. Turpin CPA scoreboard. The Maroons find themselves on the wrong end of this one early on, Mike, trailing 14-0.
Yeah, and I quote John Hines, they're going to want to run the football against us, and we've got to take that away from them. You're down 2 scores to a team that wants to run the football. Believe me, some of these quarters can get real short.
And they've scored 1 on a rushing touchdown of 20 yards. They've scored 1 on through the air, a 21-yard touchdown. So pretty balanced. But, well, I say that. They've ran the ball way more than they've thrown it and had more success running it. And Mathis, who's been leading the Indians on the ground, is checked out, and DeBruce is back in. Going to hand it off to DeBruce off the right side, and he is met immediately in the backfield.
Oh, number 4.
As Broderick Finley is there on the play, and also you had Brody Johnson in there. Finley forced DeBruce to kind of jump up and over, and Johnson cleaned it up. So loss of 2 on the play. So both teams try to run the trap where you got the backside guard and tackle pulling, and both teams have done a pretty good job of taking away the bread and butter plays. Wells drops back to pass this time. He's got time, looking for his receiver who had got behind the defense, and that's Nathan Ogle that hits him in the hands, and it falls incomplete. So both teams have been hampered by drops.
But somebody lost the
we got a penalty,
end.
and we have a penalty. We have a holding. I see the flag come in late, and George gave the signal back here that I didn't see. And no, they're going to have a legal formation, and Coach Hines will decline it and will bring up 3rd down.
3rd and long. This has not been kind to Pulaski tonight, nor has 4th and long, by the way.
No. So
they need to stop.
Yeah, 3rd and 12. And they do need to
They'll get an extra DB in and check a lineman out, so a nickel package, if you will.
Go to a cover 3 formation, apparently, or it looks like. But now there's 3 receivers to the top side, and the Maroons have 3 out there. Idlewind is going to have to stay in coverage. Zone. And they do try to set up a screen this time. Another flag comes flying in from the near side. Pass was incomplete. So depending on who this is on, we're either going to have punting. Yeah, we are.
Delay.
It's going to be a hold on the
Decline.
Indians. Will be declined. And we'll bring up 4th down, and the Indians will be forced to punt. So good stop by the defense there.
First series that since the opening series that you can say a pretty good defensive stand. Now you need a little help.
Yeah, well, you should end up with good field position.
Yep.
Simpson is just inside his territory, has his toes on the 45 or 46-yard line. Now he'll scoot up just a little bit. Guy Malt's punt, and it's a pretty good one. He kicks it away from Simpson, and it's going to hit the 35 and roll across the 30 down at the 26-yard line. So the ball was on the 26 and will end up on the 26.
That's 24 and 24. That's 48 yards.
That is. That's that quick math by my partner there.
Well, you made it easy. It became multiplication over here, but anyway, that's in high school, a 48-yard net punt is you'll take it all day, every day.
Yeah, with no return, as you mentioned. So, well, I thought they would end up with good field position, Mike. Yeah. The ball's back to the 27-yard line. Anderson comes out, and he brings Godby and Anderson wide to the left side, fakes it, and he's looking to throw it to Ryan Anderson, and he was double covered.
I for the life of me don't understand how he could have been double covered on the far side here, that he was the primary receiver.
Well, Godby was single covered. He had the cornerback on him.
Okay.
And
I was watching this. I didn't see Godby.
And Anderson was in the slot, and he just ran it out, and the outside linebacker and the safety
both
went with him. Now this time, Ryan drops back, swings it out here to Brock in the near flat, and he is hit immediately. Breaks one tackle, but then he is cleaned up by Malachi Owens. Short gain on the play, only going to result in about a 1-yard gain, Mike. So 3rd and 9, and the Pulaski offense that scored 41 last week is really having trouble finding some success. Anderson drops back to pass. He's looking for Denmeyer, and that ball is thrown well behind him and falls incomplete. And what I don't like to see is the body language now by the Maroons. You've got Denmeyer, hands up in the air, wondering what's going on. You've got Anderson coming off the field with his palms to the sky. So there's obviously some miscommunication right now, and it could be the Indians' defense just making it very difficult.
They sure are making 3 out of 10 for 10 yards.
So Ottawa on for his 4th punt, I believe. Flag comes in. Ball will hit the back of Finley as he's down there in coverage and rolls out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So wait and see what the flag is, and it was on the Maroons, a legal formation again, and the Indians will decline it and take over at the 44-yard line.
Only about 23 yards on the punt. I think the penalty will not be accepted.
Right, it was declined, and so the Maroons will take over, the Indians.
It looks like to me the Indians ended up with a good field position after those 2 punts.
Yeah, somebody a la me made a bad call.
And I had them at the 49. Actually, I think it's 26 yards, but we'll correct that.
So Indians break the huddle.
And then have still 15 seconds on the clock.
Yeah,
so
something that the Indians saw in the Indians defense.
Mm-hmm.
Ball is bobbled. It's low snap that Wells has to.
I don't get credit for us. I don't know.
Sure.
You get a sack out of that?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to cost them the better part of 6-7 yards, so that's a good thing.
Yes, a bad snap. Sticks them well behind the chains, lost the 6, and again, it was just the ball was snapped at Wells, outside of Wells' left foot.
Madison Central trying to help a little bit.
Yeah, we could use it right now. Yeah, the near side receiver is about 3 yards offside, has to back up. Now Wells will set up the draw.
Nice job by Pulaski. Somebody chased that one down from behind.
Mathis on the draw, and he's going to be brought down by Bells and Whitaker.
It was Bells, yes. All right, here's that 3rd and long thing again.
So 6:33. Clock is running here on the 2nd quarter. Randy Turpin CPA scoreboard. 14 for the Indians and a goose egg right now for the Maroons.
And if you look at stats, Pulaski's almost been shut out in the stat column.
Yeah, it's not good. Wells takes the snap, will fake it, and that ball's batted up in the air.
Whitaker, playing volleyball.
Does a great job. They tell your defensive lineman, if you can't get to the quarterback, what do? You get your hands up and try to get the ball knocked down, and that's exactly what Samuel did right there. So another good stand by this defense, Mike.
It's Madison Central's 3rd punt of the game.
This time, Xander's going to give the kicker, Peyton Gabalt, a little more respect. He's back at the 25 this time after the 48-yarder last time.
Got a movement. Let's have a 5-yard penalty against Central.
Yeah, so we'll go from 4th and 13 to 4th and 18.
Coaches are pointing and saying somebody in the Pulaski line is barking, but it's going to go against Madison Central. It's only the 2nd penalty against Madison Central. Pulaski, and amongst all of this that we've talked about, it's only committed 1 penalty in the opening half.
So that is a positive. That's something that they have haunted them throughout the first 5 games. There's a floating snap that gets back to Gabalt, and Xander Simpson will field it at the 32 before he gets upended right at the 35 to the 36. So a return of about 4 on the punt. And so it goes from the 36 to the 36, Mike.
Yes, there's that 36. And that's 14 for that's 28-yard punt.
There you go. See, well, I'm trying to make it easy on you.
Would you please give Simpson a return of, like you said, about 4 on the punt.
So the clock sets at 6 minutes exactly. 6-0-0. Maroons trail 14-0. Anderson will send forward in motion and hand it to Brock up the middle, and that's his best run of the night. He carries a couple of would-be tacklers and going to take it up to the 45-yard line, so that's a 9-yard gain on 1st down.
What if I were to tell you Pulaski has yet to pick up a 1st down?
I would believe you.
It would be true.
Hand it off to Brock again. Yep, and you had some pressure coming from the outside, and Brock saw it coming and did a little jump cut. Nice move by Case now in the backfield, and he's going to pick up 5 on 2nd down, and that will be the first down.
At the 5:30 mark of the opening half, Pulaski has their first down.
Wow. So this time Anderson will fake it and roll out, and there was a hold.
Yeah, there was a hold.
And Anderson's going to have a big gainer on this, and it's going to be for nothing.
Well,
as he has taken it from one side of the field to the other, he made a couple of men miss. Ball is taken all the way down to the 27-yard line.
They're not even going to bother to look where he stopped. They're coming on back. 27 yards on the run, but that doesn't count, and the hold will put Pulaski in 1st and long.
It happened right in front of
us. Obviously.
Yeah.
That one was pretty clear.
The odd thing about it for me, though, is that the white hat who is on the far side from us is the one that threw the flag, and the umpire who's on the near side of us, the closest to it looking right at it, did not throw the flag. But it was a hold.
But it was a hold.
Yeah. So 1st and 20 now from the 39-yard line. Anderson will hand it off to Brock. He looks for a hole, scoots off to the left side. He's going to pick up close to 8 on 1st down, so they get almost all the penalty yards back. Not quite. Bring up 2nd and 12 from the 48-yard line, 47-yard line, they put it. 2 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near side. Anderson fakes to Brock, looks to throw it again, and intended for Idlewind, and it was closer to the Madison Central defender. Leo Sotelo was in coverage.
Just not a in-sync half for this offense. Again, that is either a receiver stopped on the route or the quarterback made a real misfire. 3rd and a bunch.
So we're 3rd and 12 from the 47-yard line. Idlewind, Denmeyer, and Godby to the left side, and Godby is the intended receiver, and it is thrown too high, and Godby went up and does what you really don't want a receiver to do and try to grab that with one hand, and it tips up in the air, and it's almost the 2nd interception of the night, but thankfully falls harmlessly to the ground.
3 out of 10 for 10 yards and 1 interception.
Wow.
Will be the stat line if Pulaski doesn't get the ball back in this half.
So 4:21 before halftime. The Maroons will get the ball to start the second half. Idlewind will put his foot to it, and it is a low wobbler that will hit at the 30, take a left-hand turn, and will go out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
29 on the punt, no return. Partner?
Yes, sir?
When we do the stats at halftime, turn the sound down where you don't have to listen to this.
Done.
They're only down 2 scores, and you got to make sure you don't go into the locker room in any worse shape. You do get the second half kickoff, but it's been a while since I've seen this Pulaski offense have a half like this.
And again, it's one of those things where, partly it is the Indians' defense and covers. They've done a good job of locking up Brock, but they have not given Anderson any lanes to throw to at all. Wells is going to toss it out to Mathis. He's looking for some room around the outside, and he will get the corner before he's ran out of bounds. So they're going to say he stepped out just short. Give him 9 on first down. Takes the ball up to the 34.
Central still got their timeouts left, and
that stopped the clock, too. So
got out of bounds, yes.
Right. So 2nd and 1 to maybe take a shot play here down the field, but they're going to stay conservative and hand it to Mathis, and he is hit immediately there at the point of the handoff. Horsby was there, but he bounces off the tackler and will bounce it outside and pick up 3 on the carry, and will be a first down at the 37-yard line.
Once again, though, that sets up 3rd and medium if you make that tackle. But
why does the clock stop? Well, they finally got it going.
For the first down.
Well, but the change has been set.
Oh, yeah, it should have been running. I'm just saying that's.
So Bryant, that's Wells looking to throw it deep.
Dropped it.
Decides to check it down, intended for Radcliffe, and it caroms off his hands and falls incomplete. But Wells was looking for Pritchett, who running down the right side, and we've got another flag.
Roughing the passer?
I think this is going to be a sideline warning, because George now is going to come. He's going to march over the sideline again and have another conversation with Coach Hines, and pretty adamant. You got the hands going. Something he's not happy with.
We see one of the Pulaski coaching staff jogging down toward the end zone.
I believe, now this is what I believe is happening here. They are getting ready to, they have not getting ready to, they have called a penalty on the Pulaski County band.
The band.
I'm pretty sure that's what this is all about, because you mentioned you had one of the assistant coaches go running down to the end zone where the Pulaski County, the marching band is down there warming up, and I think that Coach Blair had said something about, hey, that's a violation.
It is a violation?
Well, I don't know.
They have games in the end zone at some games.
Oh, I know.
Place I've been.
It's not one that I have ever heard, but there was a penalty flag that is.
It's a warning.
It's going to be picked up.
Don't be playing music when the game's going on.
Oh, goodness. And so now, because we didn't make the penalty, George is going to
he got his point across.
And talk to Coach Blair. Now,
Coach Pulaski's got a coach melting in front of us.
So,
wow.
I'm at a loss right now, Mike.
Let's go. It's 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion.
3:40 still to go in the opening half. Plenty of time for Madison Central, leading by 2 scores.
I think we're about back to potential football.
Maybe.
DeBruce will take the handoff right up the middle. He bounces off a would-be tackler, gets
once
around
again,
the
steps
corner.
through multiple tackles.
Yeah, before he's finally brought down out there by Jesse Dixon, but not before he picks up 12 on the carry and another first down for the Indians.
9th first down. But again, DeBruce has been getting 1 or 2 or less on every carry. That time, 2 misses. 2 maroon jerseys. He bounced off of him.
Yeah, there was a lot of depth pressure by the interior defensive line by the Maroons, but just opened up some gaps, and DeBruce was able to step through it and then made a tackler miss. And the Maroons show some pressure this time. DeBruce is forced to bounce it outside, and Idlewine's there to force him out farther. And we'll get him ran out of bounds at about the 50, we're going to say the 49-yard line, so a gain of 1. Good job that time by the Maroons defense, not allowing DeBruce to get the corner. And again, Idlewine was the one that was there and forced DeBruce to bounce it outside.
If you're Pulaski, this would be a really, really good time to stop this drive.
So both teams have all 3 of their timeouts.
Yep.
3:07 on the clock, 2nd and 9. Wells drops straight back to pass. He's going to set up a screen, trying to set up a screen, and Bales.
That's good job by D lineman.
Bales sniffed it out, turned around, retreated, and got in the throwing lane. It was intended for Mathis, and he had some blockers out in front, Mike, and if he is able to dump that over Bales' hands, it's going to be a big play.
I agree, and that's just a heck of a play by Bales. Well, it's 3rd and long.
Well, we've been here before.
He said that before tonight.
It's not really worked out in Pulaski's favor too much, but Wells is going to have Mathis off to his right shoulder, 2 receivers to the near side, the short side of the field, 2 receivers to the left. Wells is looking left. He gets drilled as he releases it. It's going to be picked off again. No, that's not Simpson. That is Braden Ping.
That's twice.
Interception return. So 2nd interception of the night for Braden, and it was Jay Bales who brought the pressure, Mike, and just as Wells went to release that ball, Bales leveled him.
Used to do a little broadcasting with Mike Deaton, former quarterback at the University of Kentucky. He said those kind of hits will knock the taste out of your mouth.
And it did. And Wells, he is their 3rd-string quarterback, and he's going to have some cobwebs after that one.
He got clocked. A clean hit, nothing dirty.
Oh, yeah. So 2:52, the Maroons get an opportunity here again. And there's that little throwback pass. And he was juggling it. Brock tried to go up. This time they had him covered coming out of the backfield. And Brock went up, juggled it as he stepped out of bounds. So it will be incomplete.
Yeah, that wheel route was smothered.
That time it was. Earlier in the game, the first
time it was lonesome.
It was open and Brock dropped it. This time he makes the catch, but he's out of bounds. So Idlewine, Denmeyer, and Godby split out wide to the right. Brock gets the handoff as he cuts back up the middle and is going to pick up close to No, the 38-yard line, so gain of 9 on the carry, and a very manageable third down here for the Maroons as the clock winds down to 2:25 before halftime. Idlewind starts in the backfield, motions out left. Anderson throws it to him here on the near sideline, and that will be enough for the first down. Going to give him, he'll pick up 3 down to the 34.
Second first down of the half for Pulaski County.
In a hurry, Anderson empties the backfield, looking down the middle. He's got, oh goodness, it was telegraphed the whole way. It was intended for Brock, and it's picked off.
He may
and the
go.
Indians have an opportunity to take this all the way back to the 50-yard line. And again, you saw Anderson staring Brock down. He was just running a seam route from the slot, and the safety was back there.
Wow.
Stepped in front, undercut the throw, and will bring it all the way back to the 49. If I'm not mistaken, Braden Ping has 2 interceptions on the night, and Jackson Pritchard for the Indians has 2 interceptions on the night.
Well, that one's huge, and he added about 35 on the return. So.
Oh, yeah, brings it all the way back into the Maroons territory. So,
yep.
Put it almost back to where they were, a little bit better before the interception on the last possession. So Mathis from the pistol set. He will get the handoff right up the middle. He double covers it and falls across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6.
15th carry by that young man for 81 and a touchdown so far in this game.
Pretty good night. That's numbers that we're used to hearing from the Maroons.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of flipping. So you see the defense flipping because of the strength, and the Indians caught the Maroons shifting. And Mathis is going to take it all the way down to the 35. And that's going to be a gain of 8.
And I will contend that the receivers never got set on this side of the formation. But what do I know?
The Maroons' defense was definitely not set.
Oh, no,
so I agree with you that the offense probably was not set.
One of the slot receiver never did get stopped.
So 1:11 on the clock.
Well, I'm surprised. They kicked a 30-yard field goal late in their game last week against Great Crossing. Just throw that in for free.
The Bruce is checked in, and he will get the handoff. He squirts through the middle before he's finally brought down there by Ramirez, and we will get our first timeout of the night, and that will be called by the Indians. So here at 50 seconds here in the first half, 14-0, timeout Madison Central.
On the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard, keeping stats and the correct score is important to players, coaches, and fans. The same can be said about keeping your taxes and finances in order. For over 26 years, Randall D. Turpin CPA has been doing just that. If accounting's not your thing, then let the pros at Randall D. Turpin CPA do it for you. Proud sponsor of the Randall D. Turpin scoreboard, located on Parkers Mill Road in Somerset. The United Cumberland Bank defensive player will come up in our post-game show, and this is a Ron Shaw timeout. The name to know when you, your friends, or family are selling real estate is Ron Shaw with Reichert Realtors Ford Brothers. Ron has a long-standing history of community service, is a proud sponsor of youth sports in the Lake Cumberland area. Ron truly cares for others and works hard for all his clients, no matter the size or value of the property they're selling. Contact Ron, 606-271-0774. Or email him at ronshaw45@gmail.com. That's Ron Shaw at Weichert Ford Brothers.
Well, we get set to go back to action. 50 seconds remaining here in the first half. Wells fakes it, looking deep. He's got a man behind the coverage, and it is going to be a 31-yard touchdown pass to Cody Mathis, his second of the night. And that is a backbreaker just before halftime, Mike.
And the other part of that was the defender was 10 yards away Give him 31 on
Yes,
the
sir.
pitch and catch.
So second touchdown pass by Wells tonight. Second touchdown reception by Morrison.
So Morrison,
Kick is up, and it is good. So Randy Turpin CPA scoreboard from Pulaski County High School. The Maroons find themselves in a big hole, 21-0.
well, you're down on this end, and it looks like you might get that late half score that you've looked for to salvage something out of this. You throw the pick, and then you get beat over the top. And I'm not sure what happened in the coverage, but there was a corner who was about 10 yards away from the receiver trailing, and there was no safety in the middle of the field. So maybe a blown coverage, maybe just a man blew by a cover.
Yeah, Cody Morrison just ran by the defense.
He's got 4 catches for 62 and a pair of touchdowns. That's a pretty good half.
Yeah, so 1 score in the opening quarter, 2 scores in the second quarter. And the Maroons, Denmeyer will backpedal to the 3-yard line, field the kick, come up to the 20, and set down. And so return of 17 on the kickoff, and that's where the Maroons will take over and try to get something going here. I don't know, and you know Coach Hines better than I do. I don't know if you don't just hand the ball off here a couple of times and go to the locker room.
It's not his normal MO, but if they got 2 backs in the backfield,
they need to regroup.
That tells me they're going to hand it off.
So Zach Anderson and Ryan Anderson. Now Ryan will come in motion, and both of us are wrong.
Right, as usual.
And now Zach is forced to scramble out of the pocket. Everybody covered, and he will get down to the 25-yard line, gain of 4 on the quarterback scramble by Zach Anderson. No timeout's going to be taken. Coach Hines is taking the headset off. I think he has seen enough as well.
Just a preview of the stats you're going to hear at halftime. Pulaski has 2 first downs in the opening half.
Wow.
And less than 60 yards of total offense.
And you can see Coach Hines' frustration right now as he's both hands on his hips, and he is content to let this one run out. And that's where we will be here at halftime from Pulaski County High School, Pulaski County Youth Football League night. Halftime, 21-0, Madison Central Indians. We're going to step away for a commercial, and we come back. We'll give you the stats that Kerr has mentioned, some individual stats, and we'll be right back after this.
Cash? Well, look no more. Alton Blakely's got cash. Is that cash, Daniel?
Yep.
And you're giving cash for cars?
Yep. For real? Yep.
Why not? Then on down to Alton Blakely, where selling your car is as easy as ABC. If you have a vehicle you'd like to sell or trade, it's fast and easy to get paid. And we'll give you top dollar. Visit Alton Blakely today. All the best since 1965.
Out here in the real world, we've spent too much time waiting around and wondering if we'll ever get to be what we really want to be. Now it's time to move forward, and with a little help from Somerset Community College, you can finish that degree or start a whole new life as an IT VIP, a healthcare hero, and more. In less time and for less money than you think. The time is now. The place is here. Never underestimate you.
Here at Citizens National Bank, we still take pride in treating each and every customer like we would want to be treated. Our employees are here to help you navigate the confusing lending process and determine which type of home loan best suits you. Schedule an appointment today. We have highly qualified loan officers ready to serve you.
Dr. Henderson, Dr. Wilson, and the entire staff at Henderson Chiropractic are dedicated to your family's health. If you're suffering from an injury, chronic condition, or just the strain of everyday life, we provide personalized treatments to improve overall health and wellness to all ages. Our clinic is equipped with modern chiropractic equipment and the most advanced technology to evaluate, educate, and treat our patients. Whether you have headaches, disc problems, nerve pain, degenerative conditions, or just not feeling energetic, Henderson Chiropractic can get you back on the road to good health. Henderson Chiropractic, the experience you need for the results you want. Call or stop by to schedule an appointment.
And welcome back to Pulaski County High School. Halftime here on Youth Night. I'm going to give you a scoring recap, and as Kurt finishes up, give you some individual stats. You're going to hear some numbers that you typically do not hear from a Coach Hines-led offense. The Indians opened up the scoring at the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Bryant Mathis took a carry 20 yards into the end zone after the PAT was good by Peyton Galbalt. Indians led 7-0. Got the ball back and would score at the second quarter. This time KJ Wells would find Cody Morrison from 21 yards out, and then after the Galbalt PAT would extend their lead to 14-0 after a couple of interceptions back and forth by both clubs. Madison Central with 44 seconds on the clock before halftime. Wells would find Morrison streaking behind the defense from 31 yards out this time for his second touchdown reception of the night. And after the PAT was good, the Indians would lead 21-0. And that's where we find ourselves on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard here from Pulaski High School. Scores from the other local games tonight. Southwestern hosting Harlan County tonight down at the reservation, and they are up big on the Bears, 35-6. And I believe we had a Somerset score as well. Yeah, Somerset taking on Breathitt County tonight. And Somerset is leading that one 21-7. So both the other local clubs having some success tonight. The Maroons here have not. You're looking live onto the Pulaski County Band giving their performance here at halftime. And Coach Hines right now, you can see his frustration on the sideline at the end of the first half, and I'm sure there is we used to call it paint being peeled off the walls, and I don't know how much that I would want to be in that locker room right now. And again, Mike, they don't seem to be in sync. Anderson he's thrown the ball wide, high. He's not been able to find his receivers in any kind of stride tonight. And the times that he has looked to get the ball down the field, the Indians have been there to step in front of the receiver and have 2 interceptions on tonight. I'm just looking. I'm at a loss of words for the way the offense has played this season. This is the first time in the 3 years that I've covered Pulaski High School football that I have seen this offense struggle as much as they had. Brock has been able to run the ball with a little bit of success. You're going to hear that in the numbers here in just a minute. But passing-wise, it is something that is unseen, unheard of in a very long time.
Madison Central had 11 first downs in the opening half. They rushed the ball 25 times for 103 yards and 1 touchdown. That's a little over 4 yards a carry. There's not much wrong with that. But through the air, 7 of 15 for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. They get off 40 snaps in the opening half for a net of 188. They returned the ball once for 8 yards, punted it 3 times for a 37-yard average. They were penalized twice for 20 yards. No fumbles, 2 picks, 2 turnovers in the opening half. For Pulaski County, 2 first downs in the opening half. They rushed the ball 10 times for 56 yards. 4 out of 15 through the air was Zach Anderson for 13 yards. Total offense, 25 plays, 69 yards of total offense. That's less than 3 yards per play. Returned the ball 5 times for 63 yards. Punted it 4 times for a 28-yard average. 2 penalties for 20 yards. No fumbles, 2 interceptions, 2 turnovers. So each team with a couple turnovers, all those in the air category. Individual stats for Madison Central. Mathis, 16 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown in the opening half. DeBruce had 8 carries for 21 yards. Through the air, Wales, as we gave you, 7 for 15 for 85 yards and a pair of touchdowns. 4 catches for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns for Morrison. Mathis has a catch for 14, and Ratcliffe had 1 for 9 for Pulaski County. The opening play on offense was a wheel route that was dropped that looked like it might go to the house. That was the bright spot maybe of the first half. Pulaski rushing the ball. Brock, 7 carries for 35 yards. Idlewind had 1 for 3. Anderson, 2 scrambles for a net of 8 yards. Through the air, we gave you Anderson 4 of 15 for 13 yards and 2 interceptions. Denmeyer had a catch for 2. Brock had a catch for 2. Idlewind had a catch for 3. And the leading receiver in the opening half for Pulaski County, Wilden, had 1 catch for 6 yards in the opening half. Pulaski limited to 2 first downs and less than 100 yards of total offense in the opening half. And I'm like you, I've not in my recent memory. It started out, it looked like a team, couple drops in the first possession, no big deal. Then the second possession from Madison Central, they break a long play and maybe it's no big deal. This was a football team that was not totally focused on the task at hand. And Madison Central, to their credit, as soon as they got up 2 scores, I think they just said, hey, we may be a whole lot better than this bunch thinks we are.
So I got 2 questions for you then, leading up to this. You have obviously been around Coach Hines for many years. And I can't remember any games that I've ever watched, I've ever seen, I've ever heard about. You've obviously seen every one of them. Have you ever seen one get away from the offense like you have tonight and struggle as much as they have?
Well, again, I thought early it was a couple drop balls that just shut down drives, and you say, well, it's just that'll clean itself up. We're going to be all right. That happens. And maybe they happen late in the game. This time they happened early in the game. But then it became, you made one reference to it, the palms up, the what are we doing looks. And all of a sudden, your fastball wasn't getting in the strike zone. You were throwing balls that were way off target, and your receivers, for whatever reason, couldn't find any space.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's scheme. I don't know if they've been taken away, but the adjustments, I think they wanted to give the ball to Brock. They were down 2 scores, and Brock had a couple first downs. They only had 2. And they got the ball into the Madison Central end, and it looked like, okay, they'll get points out of this, and they'll get things started. And they threw the pick and the 50-yard return, and the next thing you know, you're down 21-0.
Okay, so question 2.
All right.
And I know the answer to this, but it's what it looks like to me. So you come off of a big district win last week against South Laurel that you needed. You've got North Laurel on the docket next week. That is another big district game. How much of this is a combination of the high from last week, the letdown here, getting prepared for a North Laurel district game, and not really concentrating and making this game a priority?
Probably something to do with, and then I'll add one more to that. You have got a situation where you have got a very young football team, and they've been through some adversity, and last week they celebrated. Everything they did worked. They put 41 points up in a little over a quarter. it was all easy and downhill and everything went their way, and they got the early break and they got to stand on the sidelines. And, tonight they came out and they looked to me like a team that thought, okay, everybody saw the film last week.
We're pretty good.
Well, then we're pretty good. We're going to be all right. We're at home. And they weren't totally focused. Now, part of that is youth. I will not, Coach Hines won't say that. I will guarantee you he won't take that route. But part of that is how do you handle adversity when you're young, but how do you handle success is even more important when you're a young athlete. And again, this second half has repercussions for this football team way past 10:30 tonight.
And so I will compare it as much as I can to Thursday night football game last night, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions. The Packers were dominated in the first half.
Yes.
The Lions looked like the world beaters. They're going to be the Super Bowl champs this year. They shut down the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers come out in the third quarter or come back in the second half and said, okay, enough. We're going to fight. We're going to compete. We're going to get back in this game. And they got within 10 points before Detroit finally put that one to bed. But there was a dominance in the first half, much like what we've seen tonight by Madison Central, that has the Maroons. We're going to find out a lot about this team, how they come out and compete here in the second half.
Oh, I think there is no doubt about it. The leadership of this team, and this team only has a handful of seniors.
Yeah.
But the leadership of this team, when that goes on and as this half played out with them, and Madison Central's a good football team, so I'm not throwing stones at them. But when you lay an egg like that first half was, and it was an egg, you either rattle some cages and you come out and you play, or you come out and Madison Central will come out and play the second half. I will assure you, and you're going to see a steady diet of pound, pound, pound over the top. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try to suck you in. And you're down 3 scores. Is that the end of the world? No, but they won't make it a throw it all over the yard game in the second half. They're going to run the clock.
Bad moon rising.
Bad moon rising right now. It's there.
We're about 4 minutes away from second half. We're going to step out. We're going to pay some bills. When we come back, we will bring you second half action between the Madison Central Indians and the Pulaski County Maroons. They trail 21-0.
People go to where they bank their whole life. They put in that mortgage application and they get a rejection letter, but they don't get a why. They don't get that 20-minute phone call from their lender to explain the obstacles that are in their way, what those obstacles are and how they can overcome them, what they could have done differently in the process. And they don't understand that they have options. Our job is to educate you on those options. Our job is to learn you, to identify the obstacles in your path, make a plan, execute it, and get you over the finish line of homeownership.
The Kemper family at Kemper Home Furnishings in London and Somerset has been in business for 60 years and counting, selling nothing but the top-selling, best-built furniture brands in America at the absolute lowest prices. We focus on treating you like family with a sales staff that knows their stuff and a super fast and professional Kemper delivery team. Kemper has the biggest inventory in the region, so you get what you want when you want it. Any building can be a house, but Kemper makes it home.
Dr. Henderson, Dr. Wilson, and the entire staff at Henderson Chiropractic are dedicated to your family's health. If you're suffering from an injury, chronic condition, or just the strain of everyday life, we provide personalized treatments to improve overall health and wellness to all ages. Our clinic is equipped with modern chiropractic equipment and the most advanced technology to evaluate, educate, and treat our patients. Whether you have headaches, disc problems, nerve pain, degenerative conditions, or just not feeling energetic, Henderson Chiropractic can get you back on the road to good health. Henderson Chiropractic, the experience you need for the results you want. Call or stop by to schedule an appointment.
We're back, and it's halftime. And Pulaski trails Madison Central 21-0. The light show and the music trying to pump up the Pulaski faithful. Don't forget, Chris and I'll select a Whamco lineman of the game at the completion of this one. Whamco with Wooldridge, he's going to get it right. Asphalt Maintenance Company is a locally and family-owned and operated total asphalt maintenance service company proudly serving the Lake Cumberland area. Their services include seal coating, hot pour crack filling, and hot asphalt patching, repair, painting, and striping. WAMCO uses the newest equipment technologies in the industry, assuring successful results and competitive pricing every time. Call WAMCO at 606-219-8967 for all your asphalt maintenance needs. Chris, if you're Pulaski, you would really like to see the second half get started. John Hines and the White Hat are standing at the 30-yard line, and they have been having a friendly discussion, it looks like, but a extended discussion here down below us. And I don't think the officials caused what happened in the open. They may have contributed here or there, but Pulaski just didn't show up in the first half.
And if you're watching this right now and you're wondering what's going on with the lighting at Pulaski County High School field, well, that's the new lights.
Everybody's getting these now.
And they are in sync with the music, and they do the flashing and the blinking.
And they can go to other colors, and it's crazy.
And like you said, it's pretty neat right now. What do you think they'd be doing if they were winning 21-0?
Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Sports Medicine, Dr. Jesse Pace, Dr. Patrick Jinks of the Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Sports Medicine for athletes of all levels. From the weekend warrior to the professional, at Lake Cumberland Orthopedics, our goal is to get each patient back to the highest level of physical activity possible. We're proud to support local athletes by serving as team physicians for Lindsey Wilson College, Southwestern, Somerset, Pulaski, Wayne County High Schools, and other athletes throughout the Lake Cumberland region. Be sure to check our Facebook page each week for our Lake Cumberland Orthopedic Student Athlete of the Week. This is an appropriate read. Stressed, anxious, depressed. At Entrust Healthcare Counseling, we can get services started today. Entrust offers you the flexibility of providing you with a counseling service in their office, on the phone, or through your computer. Give them a call, 606-676-0638, or visit the website at entrust-healthcare.com. At Entrust, your mental health matters. The officials have signaled that we're about ready to do this thing, Chris.
Look here.
Well, now they came and got the football.
Well, hey, White Hat's on the wrong end of the field.
And he's pointing at the other guy, said, you go. That's too far to go. Well, wait a minute.
So now they're going to flip
the teams
sides.
are on the wrong side.
Yeah, so while we get things flipped
and
around.
Don't let the band be playing no music while the game's going on either.
You know, Pat Harris is, as always, keeping things
Pat
in
does
good
pay
with
attention. You can
video.
say that about him.
Kevin Lloyd has been producing this thing, but I have got to shout out here to my niece, Abby Reese.
Yes.
Hannah is in the booth with us tonight, and she is taking over producing duties from
I've
Kevin,
noticed that
and she is doing a wonderful job.
Well, and I'm the next to go.
So Guy Balt is set to kick off. Denmeyer and Simpson back deep at the 5-yard line, and Denmeyer will corral at the 7, and in a hurry up the middle, bounces it out the outside, and he has got some room across the 25 to the 30. Tries to make one man miss, but he is tripped up at the 35 and will fall all the way forward to the 40-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Maroons from the 40-yard line here in the second half.
Caught it about the 5, didn't he?
Yes. That'd be a 35-yard return.
There's that math again. All right, if you're Pulaski, you don't get 21 back at a time. You got to start chewing on this elephant, but this opening drive is going to be huge.
One bite at a time. So Anderson will bring out the offense. Brock in the backfield behind him, hands it off to him. He breaks, steps through a tackler, but is met by 3 other Indian tacklers who will pick up 2 on the carry before he's ridden out of bounds.
Yeah, Brock bounced that all the way from inside the tackle all the way to the boundary out here, but White Shirt's doing a pretty good job of filling up all the gaps.
Yeah, he was hit
right
in the backfield. Anderson pulls it out. He's got Wilden open, and this ball
is a bounce.
Intended, and here comes a flag in late from the near side. It was intended for Kyle Wethington Jr., and it short hops, and you're going to have ineligible man downfield on the Maroons.
Yes,
so
you
add
are.
insult to injury.
waiting to see whether Madison Central wants to accept this or not. There's a discussion going on.
And Coach Blair is discussing it with the side judge, the line judge over there. Still no decision made, and he will decline it.
Well, if he declines it, then some of his players are going to have to come back up here a little bit.
Yeah. Everybody's going to have to back up.
All right.
So
you had it covered, though.
So penalty was declined. Going to bring up 3rd and 8 for the Maroons. 3 receivers wide to the right. Anderson fakes, rolls out to the right. Now he's under some pressure. And again, a late throw over the middle, and it's going to be the 3rd interception of the night, intended for Boone Godby. And he was double covered, Mike. There was 2 defenders on his back, and it is picked off. There, I believe that was Cody Morrison, who has the 2 touchdown receptions.
Well, that one was thrown into coverage, and I think at least 2 Madison Central players got hands on that before it was corralled, but that is not how you wanted to start the second half if you're Pulaski County.
No, and again, the decision to throw the ball to Godby in that situation with 2 Indians.
And on the first down, when he had a wide open receiver for the 5 yards or 10 out in front of him and didn't throw it to him.
So Wells starts off, and here's Mathis around the left side, and there was not a maroon jersey on that side of the line.
Nope.
And Mathis just takes it around the left side and is going to pick up
about 12.
Ball was at the 47. It goes down to the 35. So, yeah, that'd give it 12.
That's 100 yards on the night, too, by Mathis.
He's going to run the exact same play around the same side. And, again, the defensive line is just getting washed down. And he's not even showing. There's no contact until he's 5 yards down the field and gets run out of bounds after the 5-yard gain.
Well, if you're Madison Central, the 21 points you've got on the board are huge, and you can do what you want to right now.
So 2 tight ends set this time for the Indians, 2 wide receivers to the near side. Mathis is going to get his 3rd carry, and he makes Whitaker miss right at the line of scrimmage, and he jitterbugs across the 25 down to about the 24, gain to give him 6 on the carry, and another Madison Central first down. And right now, it's all the Bryant Mathis show.
The linebacker on the backside over there, I haven't been able to find him in any of this.
The Bruce checks in, and he's going to get the carry. He just follows his big pull and tackle from the left side, and he was looking for somebody to block and couldn't find anybody.
That tackle is, he's got his own area code. That's a big dude.
Yeah, Zachary Cowper, 6'3", 270, and he's not the biggest.
No, he's the smaller of the two. So DeBruce
picks up 7.
7.
Ball down to the 18-yard line. The Indians threaten again. DeBruce will get the carry right up the middle, and this big gaps being created right now by this Indian offensive line, and DeBruce is going to pick up 6 more on the carry. Ball spotted down at the 13 now. And another first down for the Indians, and it's all been on running plays.
Yeah, and I don't think they need. Well, again, they have shown the propensity to throw it at times when I wasn't sure why they did it. But right now, clock's your friend, and they can't stop the ground game.
Well, they're doing this from 11 formation, 2 tight ends, and there's DeBruce again. Gets tripped up on the play.
It's one of the little guys. That may have been a safety. No, that was Ramirez.
Yeah, that was Ramirez from his linebacker spot. Was able to get a hold on DeBruce's foot, but not before he picks up 4 on first down. Sets up 2nd and 6 from about the 9-yard line. And again, so here we got 2 tight end formation. 2 receivers to the near side. DeBruce gets the handoff going left, and he runs into
all of the maroon right side.
Yeah, you had Finley coming up from his safety spot.
Well, if they ever set the down marker.
Gavin Atwell in there on the tackle. He'll give him 2.
All right. Let's wait for him to.
Yeah, see, they give him on to the 9 to the 7. So 3rd and 4 from the 7-yard line. And Coach William Blair is content to let the play clock bleed down, run the ball, keep the clock moving. Now they put the wing back in there more behind the tackle. The Maroons show pressure. The Indians try to pass. Wells has got a man. Oh, and it's well behind him. He had a receiver out there at about the 4-yard line, Nathan Ogle, and it was just thrown behind him.
Whitaker and company, he had some help back here, and I think that one he threw mainly to get rid of it. Now we're going to have that field goal attempt I talked about earlier, maybe.
We are. Peyton Guybalt will come on. 5'8" sophomore.
He had a 30-yarder last week, and I read in a recap of their game, and this one will be about 24.
Ball will be spotted at the 14, so a 24-yarder. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. So at the 7:43 mark of the 3rd quarter, the Indians strike first again. And on the Randy Turpin CPA scoreboard, and the clock is still running, Mike, and it's not a running clock, but it's 24-0.
Probably ought to stop it. The video game of the week next week will be, we decided it would be Southwestern and
Franklin County.
Franklin County next week. Thank you. Be sure to watch Buffalo Wings and Rings video game of the week next week. Next week, the broadcast will be Southwestern and Franklin County. Buffalo Wings and Rings. Wings created your way, always fresh, never frozen burgers. Well, I don't know if anybody on the field noticed the clock because they didn't put any time back up, so I'm assuming they didn't.
Well, it was probably a good thing, actually.
In the grand scheme of things, you're saying it was a good thing?
It could be.
All right.
After the Guybalt 24-yard field goal, the Maroons now find themselves down 24-0, Mike.
Yep.
And this is a high end-over-end kick that Denmeyer will backpedal all the way to the 1-yard line. Finds a crease. Oh, it had one man if he gets through him, but a good tackle right there by Alex Wegner. And the Maroons will take over at the 25.
I'm just going to give you some numbers for fun. Denmeyer has 1 catch for 2 yards. He came into the game averaging above 100 yards a game.
Well, he got taken out of the contest last week.
Yep. And Anderson averaging over 200 yards a game. He's 13 at halftime.
And Anderson spread the ball around well last week. They're going to try to get the ball in Denmeyer's hands here with the hot potato pass, and they do. Little jet sweep action, blockers out in front, and he dabbled. I think he fumbled. He did. He fumbled the ball, but luckily was on his way out of bounds. Yeah, but he'll pick up 7 on the sweep pass. Goes down as a pass. Ball at the 33-yard line. Give him 8, actually, where they spotted here. So a gain of 8. 2nd and 2. So trying to get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Hands it off to Brock. Up the middle. And he will get the yardage needed. He'll pick up about 4 or 5. Give him 5 on the carry before he's brought down by the whole Indian middle interior.
The whole
7.
Indian nation.
Yeah. But it is enough for the first down. 3rd one of the game, right, Mike?
Correct.
So, Maroons are in a hurry here. Anderson fakes it to Brock, looks to pass, and covered up, and Anderson's just going to tuck it and try to get what he can get. He's going to get up across the 40. They're going to give him forward progress up to the 43.
Give him 4, yeah.
Yeah, give him 4 yards. And the thing you talk about Denmeyer with only one pass down the field, and you would think, okay, so the Indians they're committing extra men. They're double covering. No, he's been single covered almost the entire night. This time Anderson hands it off to Brock up the middle, and he works his way across the 45 up to the 50-yard line, give him 8 on the carry.
You really like to see that out of this freshman, though. He's still out there trying to churn it.
Yeah, he's working hard, running hard. And, I mean, right now, tonight, he has been the Pulaski offense.
You are very much correct. About 70% of it to this point.
Anderson's going to hand it off to him again. He bounces off the right side, stays on his feet, gets across the 48 down to the 47. Good hard run, but it's only going to result in about 3 yards.
Yeah, I thought when he bounced it there was some green turf, but there was a body there.
Yeah, the Maroons trying to get things going here in a hurry. Anderson hands it off to Brock. Now he finds a little bit of room to the left side, but that right there again has been the story of the night too.
Yep.
The Maroons just one tackle away from a big play, but he gets dragged down. Give him 5 on the carry. So 3rd and 3 as the ball is in Indian territory. Anderson tries to throw it. It is a quick screen out to Godby, and there's another one. Just a lack of concentration. The passing game is non-existent tonight.
Well, it's, again, that's the third one that I can give you that maybe it wasn't on frame. It wasn't exactly on the numbers, but that ball should have been caught.
Yeah, Boone is a good receiver.
He's got good hands.
And it was head high, but it just squirted through and falls incomplete. So 4th and 3, and the Maroons will go for it. Anderson fakes the Brock, keeps it himself, and makes the tackler miss, and he's going to pick up
about 10, 9 or 10.
Yeah, give him 10 on the carry.
Give him 5 first downs on the game.
So a nice play call right there. Now whether or not that was designed or Anderson just saw something.
Maybe he saw a gap, but whatever it was, he did what they needed, was picked up the first.
So now the Maroons have went to a 2 tight end set. Brock's got it, fakes it, and there's another throw, Mike, that it just, I mean, it's not even close. He had Denmeyer on the slant. And
that was off target so much that the corner, who was probably 8-10 yards deeper, it even cleared him.
Yeah. I mean, it came out of Anderson's hand.
Just, I don't know if there's something physically wrong or just the fastball's not there tonight.
Well, I'll get to it in just a minute. We're going to have a flag, and it's going to be a false start on the offense. So you have a bad pass, and now you have a penalty. So my question is this, Mike. You know, I've talked about it throughout the season. You know, Anderson loves to drop down and kind of come from an angle, a 3/4 slot or whatever. Mechanics, you hear about it, and you know, right now you have to say, okay, let's go back to fundamentals. Let's get your footwork right. Let's get the ball positioning right, and let's just play pitch and catch with your receiver instead of trying to make a spectacular throw.
Well, Pulaski County, I don't think liked that call at all.
Yeah, so 2nd and 15 after the penalty, drives it back to the 39. The Indians bring pressure. The offensive line does a great job of picking it up, and Brock squirts 3 and will pick up all the penalty yards plus more. Going to give him about 13.
Yeah, he's
when
down.
It's all said and done.
Down sniffing the first down marker now.
So 3rd and 2. So nice again. Case and Brock has been your offense.
Well, he's got 70 yards.
And the Indians are loading the box.
He's got 70
here's another
plus.
He's up the middle. He's going to take it into the end zone, possibly fighting for it, and he will get there. Case and Brock with a 26-yard touchdown run for the Maroons, and they find themselves on the board. Again, is just desire, want to, hard-nosed run by your freshman running back.
The left side of this offensive line deserves a tip of your cap on that one.
So third quarter, 4:45 on the Bradley Turpin CPA scoreboard. Mounts on to attempt the PAT, and it is up and good. So finally, the offense comes alive, and we have a 24-7 ball game here. Pulaski trails the Indians.
That was a Citizens National Bank touchdown. And although technically no time spent in the Rick Barker red zone, we will go ahead and remind everyone that Rick Barker, Godby Realty and Auction, names you know, names you can trust. Real estate and auction service for farm, commercial, residential, and personal. Godby Realty and Auction, 49 years experience in the real estate and auction business, and they're ready to put that to work for you. Go online at godbyrealty.com for more information. Modern Systems, since 1979, Modern Systems have been protecting communities all across Kentucky, and they're proud to be part of the communities they serve, committing time and sponsorship to numerous charities like Project 5810, Relay for Life, March of Dimes, Heart Walk, local school programs, and many more. Modern Systems, your neighbors, your friends, they work 24/7 to protect you, the things that matter most. From home, business, schools, and churches, let Modern Systems be your trusted name and security partner.
Idlewind set to kick it off. The Indians expecting an onside kick, and it's going to be a pooch kick that's going to be fielded by Morrison at about the 19-yard line, and he's going to get across the 35 to about the 37, maybe. We don't have anybody spotting the ball.
Somebody ought to spot it.
Nobody. So I'm going to say that it's the 37-yard line.
How about the 35, or where do you want to put it? I don't know.
There was nobody.
Here, take this.
Was the touchdown run from Brock, was it 21 yards?
That's what I put down.
That's what I thought. I don't know. I had, anyway.
Yeah. 26 yards.
Was it 26?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's change it to 26. Run.
And that's going to have to be official because that's what I wrote down.
That's what I'm going with.
All right.
So Indians come back on offense. Wells hands it off, and there's a big gap. DeBruce takes it off to the left side, and he's going to get all the way up to the 50-yard line, so a gain of 13 on first down. So the rushing defense by both teams tonight having trouble getting the running game stopped.
Yeah, and again, Pulaski's defense, let's be honest, they spent twice as many snaps on the field in the opening half plus that the offense did. And eventually, when a team runs the football at you constantly, those big linemen lay it on you constantly on every play, you wear down a little bit.
And that's exactly what's happened so far in this game. Wells turns around and hands it off to DeBruce again up the middle, and he gets horse tied and brought down. Gunnar Lovelace comes flying in with a big hit, as well as Braden Ping, but DeBruce is going to pick up 3 yards and bring up 2nd and 7.
Whitaker waving to the sidelines for something. I don't really know what he's asking, but I don't think anybody's paying attention.
Well, he did. He got somebody's attention. I don't know if he's wanting to say, hey, do you want me sliding down? You want me to protect the gap?
He's trying to get some idea.
Trying to figure out what they're wanting to do against this trapping offense running game. And here you see it again. The left guard comes over. The ball comes flying out. It's on the ground. Finley had an opportunity at it but cannot get it, and it will be recovered by Williams Sword. And so the big opportunity right there, Mike, if we could have got the turnover.
Was that DeBruce or Mathis?
That was DeBruce on the carry. He gets no gain after the fumble recovery.
Not lost, though.
Not lost, which would have been nice, but it comes squirting out. So it brings up a 3rd and 7
35th rush of the game, just for numbers' sake, to keep you in for Madison Central.
Yeah, so DeBruce puts the ball on the ground, and guess who checks back in? Bryant Mathis. And he will get the carry. Same trap to the left side. He waits and waits. He's very patient, finds a little seam, and will pick up close to 6. Short of the first down line to make, but it's going to be close enough. And both teams substituting in a bigger package here for this fourth down play.
I am somewhat, and I will say this, I am somewhat surprised they don't punt. I know their punter has only been averaging, 30, 35 yards, but anything I can take away from Pulaski field position was up 24-7. I'm doing it.
Well, I don't disagree with you very often, but I'm going to disagree with you on this one. Pulaski has not shown they can stop me. And so here's a heavier package, and Coach Blair is going to take a timeout. First timeout of the half for the Indians.
He was channeling me. He heard that I had second thoughts about this. Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships is the official photography sponsor of Lake Cumberland Sports. And a big thank you to them and all their dealerships for presenting tonight's coverage of high school football. Be sure to take advantage at the end of summer savings at any of their Somerset locations. Visit those 4 locations or on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships. They will treat you like family. Chris and I will bring you the other football tomorrow at 1 o'clock here on Lake Cumberland Sports, as Pat and Chris and I don't know who else may be going along with us. Kevin, not sure. We'll be at Somerset High School for District 47th soccer boys action between Casey County and Pulaski County. That's a 1 o'clock drop. We'll be there. Join us.
So, after the discussion on the sideline,
I got overruled.
They take the heavy package out. They go back to the pistol formation. They run right up the middle again with Mathis, and he will pick up.
And a great call.
Yeah, three on the play, and that will result in another first down.
21st pack of the night for Mathis. 21 carries, 118, and a touchdown. Pretty good night's work. If you look at their stats, their opening game of the year, they rushed for 0 yards if you go to the KHSA webpage. I don't believe that.
Somebody's lying.
I don't believe that, just between us.
So Mathis, again, lines up the right shoulder of Wells. Now he's going to look to pass this time, Mike, and he's got a receiver behind the covers, but it is oh, wow. It's another floater.
Over.
Simpson was there.
He stepped out of bounds, didn't catch it.
Cody Morrison goes up. He does bring the ball in.
He had the ball with him,
he's out of bounds. So the Indians took a shot.
Pat's got to read. Simpson is about 5'7" if you stretch him. And the receiver's about 6'2", 6'3", so bit of a mismatch.
So we talk about this Madison Central offensive line, and I'm going to give you some numbers here in a second.
All right.
Back to the 2 tight end set. 2 receivers to the near side. Mathis will take the carry off the right side, make a man miss, cut back to the middle before he's finally brought down on the play, but not before a gain of 7, bringing up 3rd and 7. So just listen to the sizes here, Mike. 6'7", 320. 6 foot 290. 6'4", 255. 6 foot 280. 6'3", 275. That's your offensive line.
And their tight ends are not small either.
No. I mean, it's crazy the size
of high school lines.
Yeah. So in a hurry here.
Flags fly.
I think we're going to have the receiver here was not set.
He wasn't to play before either. He's had a couple of plays that they're not giving him time to get set.
Well, they ran the play clock all the way down to 4 seconds that time.
Yeah.
And Wells was not paying attention. You're going to have a false start, but it's not a false start. because they allowed Coach Hines to decline it. So it had to have been a legal formation, because had it been a false start, the play is dead.
Yeah, that's correct. But anyway, I think you can I thought they would start the clock after that penalty was declined, and if they do, it's going to be the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, they are.
And they do signal to start the clock, Kylie.
So at the end of the third quarter here from Pulaski High School, the Maroons have fought a little bit better and brought the score to 24-7, but we are going to step away. We'll be right back after this.
Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175-100, here to come in 175-2. I 200 down, got it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
And welcome back to Pulaski County High School. Chris, fourth and no. I'll just call it for you. Fourth and no. Pulaski's going to take over. Wrong button.
Hey, I'm glad you called it for me because I was not here. So a big stop by the Maroons defense. Talk about a little bit of fight in the third quarter, and they are able to. They actually won the quarter, Mike, 7-3.
Okay, that's a start.
So Anderson will send Godby in motion out of the backfield. Hands it off to Brock up the middle. He finds another crease, fighting hard for it, keeps his legs driving, and he's got a tackler on his legs, a tackler on his back, and he's still driving and will fall forward for a gain of 8 on first down. Up to the 43, so 2nd and 2. And again, you see the maturation and the will of this young freshman running back, Kason Brock.
Tackle this time, from behind, though.
So this time they try to run the trap from the left side, and the Indians bring pressure from the left side and bring Kason down for no gain. They're going to give him 1 up to the 44-yard line. 3rd and 1.
He's over 100 yards on the game now.
And what's the total offense?
Most of it.
So there's the pitch to Brock. He is forced to cut back up inside, and he will fight across the 45, just across the 45, and that's going to be enough for a first down for the Maroons. Again, Brock gets just enough, and the Maroons back up to the line in a hurry. Fakes it to Brock this time. Anderson rolls out right and will hit Wilden on an out pattern, and that's probably one of the better throws that we've seen tonight from Anderson. Decker Wilden is going to pick up down to the 41-yard line, so a gain of 14 on first down.
That's got to feel good to finally throw one in your own guy's hands. That was a Kemper Furniture first down.
Well, now another one, and Wilden again takes it from this tight end spot. Just comes out quick, and Anderson finds him, and it's going to be a gain of close to 7. Yeah, a gain of 7 on first down, bring up 2nd and 3. As Kyle Weddington Jr. checks in the game, he'll go wide to the far side. Wilden and Denmeyer here to the near side. Idlewine and Brock in the backfield. It's going to be fake to Idlewind. Anderson rolling out, looking, throws it back again. Here's another one in double coverage. It overthrows Denmeyer and both of the Indian defenders and falls incomplete and brings up another third down.
Yeah, that one was a bit tall. Trying to find a name over here, so I'm...
You go for it. I got you covered.
Temporarily
here.
Lost.
Yeah. So, again, you have to give the defensive coordinator for the Indians some credit. And you've said, you talked about it, they've been in some ball games.
Their head coach is a pretty good defensive coach.
And so he has definitely found something. Anderson empties the backfield and sets up the middle screen. And there again is Wilden making his third catch of this drive. And he's going to pick up 6 on the little tight end screen, middle screen, and we'll get another Kemper Furniture first down. And the Maroons are threatening the Rick Barker red zone and threatening to pull this into within 10.
Kemper Furniture first downs rolling in.
Anderson feeling a little bit better in the pocket, going to dump it out to Brock on the left side. He bobbles it, but makes the catch, makes one man miss, makes another man miss, and he's going to take it all the way in the house. So 27 yards out, and Jason Brock, another hard-fought run, just would not be denied. And Casey, as you see him here, makes a couple of tacklers miss and gets all the way into the end zone from 27 yards out.
That'll help your passing stats, and he's now caught a touchdown and rushed for a touchdown.
9:57 on the clock in the fourth quarter. PC trying to pull within 10 after the Mounts PAT attempt. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it is good on Riley Turpin CPA scoreboard. 9:57. The Maroons showing some life. Cut it to 10. Now trail 24-14.
At the conclusion of this game, we'll select a WAMCO lineman of the game. WAMCO, that's Woolridge Asphalt Maintenance Company, is a locally and family-owned and operated total asphalt maintenance service company proudly serving the Lake Cumberland area. Their services include seal coating, hot pour crack filling, and hot asphalt patching, repair, painting, and striping. WAMCO uses the newest equipment and technologies in the industry, assuring successful results and competitive pricing every time. Call WAMCO at 606-219-8967 for all your asphalt maintenance needs. Partner? If you're Pulaski, you need a turnover, you need some help, you need to get this to a one-score game. And if you're Madison Central, you got to keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, the running game for the Indians has been almost stopped. And are we going to see a onside kick attempt here possibly?
Would not surprise me, and it's not going to surprise Madison Central either.
No, they've got the...
Unless they kick it to the backside over there. Wow.
Everybody in here, and here it is. It is the onside kick, and it's going to get to 10 yards, and it's going to be recovered. Idlewind got to it. He bobbled it, but it will be recovered by the Maroons. Gunnar Lovelace is able to come up with it. So, opportunity here for the Maroons.
Wow.
You said it. I mean, the Indians had to know that it was a possibility, and there was nobody.
I was amazed at the alignment they came out in.
Yeah. Idlewind got to the ball first and was not able to recover it, but muffed it enough to where Lovelace could get to it, and the Maroon offense is right back on the field. Anderson empties the backfield. Brock comes in motion to the right side looking for a go route. Anderson's looking his way, and he's going to be ridden out of bounds. So almost perfect coverage there by the cornerback for the Indians, Bryant Mathis.
If you notice that time too, Madison Central was in what I call a 3-8 defense, rushing 3, dropping 8 into coverage. And
you think they had an idea that the Maroons might throw it there?
I think they thought Pulaski was going to go for home run on play 1. Yeah, I do.
And so now we come back 2nd and 10, and I anticipate a Brock up the middle.
Good call.
There it is, off the trap. He makes a man miss, fighting for extra yards. And again, the young man tonight has shown me something. He's going to pick up 7 on second down, 8. Give him 8. We'll bring up 3rd and 2. So again, can you rely on a freshman running back too much, Mike?
I don't know, but they're doing it tonight.
I'm giving it to him again right here, and the Indians know it's coming. They bring pressure. Now Anderson fakes it and keeps it himself, and he does a great job, gets through there. Hull coming from the backside is going to try to help him, and Anderson's going to pick up 7, 8, 9, 11. Give him 11 on the quarterback keeper down to the 32-yard line, and Coach Blair has seen enough, and he will call his second timeout of the half, and they're going to try to get something figured out.
Don't forget, at the conclusion of tonight's game in the Alton Blakely Family of Dealerships post-game show, we will give out a Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game to be selected by a yet unknown group of experts. Chris Noel. We also want to remind everybody that the United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game will also be selected, and a WAMCO Lineman of the Game. All those coming up in your Alton Blakely Family of Dealership post-game show. Well, if nothing else, the 21-0 halftime thing, Pulaski has shown enough life that the second half has got a little bit of interest right now. This is a score away from things getting a little more interesting.
So how large does the decision to kick the field goal?
It's huge.
Right. So even if you score here, you're still down 3. Anderson looking to pass again. He's going to find Wellington Jr. sneaking out from his tight, lined up as a tight end, and he's going to pick up 10 yards and enough for another Kemper Furniture first down. So, Mike, you had the Indians call a timeout trying to stop the rushing attack by the Maroons and Kason Brock, and the Maroons come out and throw the ball out of this 2 tight end set. Now Anderson's going to pull it and run it himself again as the flag comes flying in from the far sideline, and you got to believe that Coach Blair and his coaching staff have been over there in that referee's ear as we have a injured Indian down on the field as well.
You do, but that one came so early. I may be wrong, but that came from where holding calls come from. And we'll wait and see if the young man's okay. We'll worry about penalties after.
So we are going to have an injury timeout.
Remind you that the Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealership is the official photography sponsor of Lake Cumberland Sports. Big thank you to them for sponsoring tonight's coverage of high school football. Be sure to take advantage of the end of summer savings at any of their Somerset locations. Visit those 4 locations or on Facebook at Don Franklin Somerset Family of Dealerships. They'll treat you like family. Got a number?
No, not yet.
All right, I don't need to know anyway. That would. All right, Chris, you've still got a long time on the clock. You got almost 9 minutes. That is 2 timeouts, I think, that Madison Central burned. The second one just a minute ago.
Number 50. Sorry to interrupt you. The young man gets up and he's jogging off under his own power.
That's a good thing.
Max Murphy.
Anyway, you've got almost 9 minutes left. Pulaski's got 3 timeouts still in their pocket, I think. And so this drive is relatively important for both squads. If some of you keep Pulaski out of the end zone, if you're Madison Central, you got to feel pretty good about things. If Pulaski gets in the end zone here, then at least the house has not got all the cards.
Right, and the doubt creeps into Madison Central's mind.
Yep.
You know? So anyway, 1st and 20 after the holding call. Brock gets the swing pass from Anderson, trying to get to the outside, but he is going to be brought down by Derek McElwee.
That was a heck of an open field tackle.
It was for a gain of 1. We'll bring up 2nd, and actually wasn't a 10-yard penalty. So after the 1 yard gain, makes it 2nd and 16. Anderson drops back to pass. He's looking down there. He's got Weathington Jr., and it goes through his hands into the end zone. So we've seen Anderson, who struggled for much of this game here in the fourth quarter anyway, Mike, has been more on target.
Yeah, he motioned Weathington on deep. Weathington did a pretty good job not getting called for offensive pass interference as he had the hands on the pads of the defender, and everybody watching that, depending on what color of shirt you're wearing, you thought it was pass interference both ways.
So
probably a no call.
3rd and 16. 3 receivers, Godby, Denmeyer, and Weathington Jr. split out wide to the left. Anderson surveys the field, comes all the way back across. Now he's still looking. Now he's going to look for Wilden, who had kind of come free, working back to his quarterback, and it goes incomplete and will bring up 4th down.
4th and a bunch.
Yeah, it's too long for a field goal.
Yeah.
Too short for a punt.
Yeah.
Down 10. You have to.
This is called no man's land right here.
So Weathington and Godby will come stacked to the near side. And Wilden and Denmeyer stacked to the top side. And Brock comes out of the backfield.
Head never turned.
He never expected, thought, knew that he was going to be even the primary receiver. And Anderson fired it to him. If Brock turns around and makes the catch, there's going to be an opportunity for him to pick up the first down. But as it stands, it falls incomplete and is a huge turnover on downs considering the time and the score.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. There was just a misconnection there.
So 24-14, 7:59 remaining in this game. Southwestern is a winner at home tonight against Harlan County, 49-12 final in that one.
Anything on Somerset?
Nothing yet. So back to tight end set. Mathis with the carry off the right side, and he is ridden down by Ethan Idlewine after a gain of 5.
Well, if you're Pulaski, I mean, let's do the math. A first down or 2 here shortens this to where it's very difficult to get back in this game. So to stop them on 2nd and 3rd down here might not be the end of the game if you don't, but it sure does shorten things a whole lot.
Yeah, Coach Hines has all 3 timeouts.
Yep.
So if you can get a stop or 2, and the Maroons bring everybody, and it's picked up, and Mathis finds the gap, and he may go. He's got one man to meet, and he's not going to get the corner, the angle on him, and he is going to take it
67 yards.
67 yards on the touchdown. So don't have to worry about the timeouts or the time at this point.
Yeah, that was once again, Pulaski was in sellout defense, let's be honest. They walked everybody up, and there was a gap that wasn't filled. And here just in front of us about the 45-yard line, Mathis stepped through a tackle, a would-be tackle, and took it to the house.
Well, 2nd rushing touchdown of the night by Mathis, this time from 67 yards away. Gal Balt's PAT is good, and that will extend the lead out to 31-14.
By the way, Mathis on that carry, 197 now.
Wow.
And 2 touchdowns. Give DeBruce has got 55. So you're talking 250 plus on the ground and about 100 more or less through the air. So pretty good performance by the offense of Madison Central, even though they have turned the football over 3 times. New camera. Hey, man, how are you? You got taller. You brought in the big right-hander. Well, anyway, if you're Madison Central, you're 1-5. You come on the road, and if you don't do something really, really tragic right here, you're going to get a win on the road. And Pulaski, you're going to be scratching your head come Sunday at film study and be interested to see what they bring. They have North Laurel next week at North Laurel.
Which, regardless of what happens here, is a huge game. It's a
it
big
is
game.
huge.
Guybalt's kick into the night sky. We'll find Denmeyer at the 7-yard line. He bounces around to the left side, makes one tackle and a miss, makes another one. He's across the 25, makes another man miss at the 30, across the 35, and we'll take that all the way back to the 40-yard line, Mike. So a 33-yard kickoff return that Denmeyer showed his electricity, his ability.
Right.
Yeah, he tried to say.
The thing that it's great, that was a great return. That's the 5th return of the game for Denmeyer on kickoffs. So that's never a good thing when your kickoff return guys returned 6 kickoffs in this game. Denmeyer out here by himself.
You have a mismatch, and they're going to call the Indians are going to call a timeout because they had a big mismatch out here. Denmeyer by himself on the 5'9" Jackson Pritchard, but he has 2 interceptions on the night, so I don't know if it was a mismatch.
Well, I know one thing. If you'll line up in that formation, I'll take my chances against it. When you put my A receiver, my best receiver, in space out here by himself with no safety help over the top, I'm going to try to exploit it. All right, partner. We came into this thinking it would be, I heard people talking crazy stuff like run and score and Madison Central's not very good, and I heard crazy stuff, and I kept saying, well, look who they've played. Right. Pay a little attention. This is not a bad football team, and they're well coached. And I think they have they've earned this one.
So you still have Denmeyer down here in single coverage, and they're going to try to throw a slant to him, and he is able to make the one-man miss that come flying out from the outside linebacker spot, and will pick up 11.
Again, I reiterate, if they're in that same coverage, I'm coming right back. Well, obviously short side of the field now.
Well, and the one thing that you've seen, Anderson this time rolls out to his left, and it's tipped up in the air and will fall incomplete. He was looking for Weathington Jr. again. The one thing that if you're watching and you can see the alignment by the Madison Central cornerbacks, they line up with their backs to the sideline.
Yep.
And they are funneling the receivers into their help coverage. Brock is going to take it up the middle. He's going to get across the 40 down to the 39. Gain of 7. 3rd and 3.
He's got 121 yards on 19 carries tonight, so a little above his average.
Anderson in a hurry. Hands it off to Brock off the left side. And there's space over there for him to get across the 35 down to the 34. Gain of 5. And that will be another Kemper Furniture first down for the Maroons.
Pulaski had 2 first downs at halftime. They now have 14. So the offense has found a little life in this half.
Anderson fakes it to Brock, rolls out to the left. He's looking down the field for Denmeyer. Denmeyer, and you're going to have...
Finally, there's a flag, and it may be on Denmeyer.
I believe that it's going to... No, he's saying he thought about it, and it should have been, but they're going to get a pass interference against Madison Central, so that's going to be a 15-yarder and a first down.
Well... Again, that one comes late. If I'm Coach Blair, I don't like it because I'm not sure that was pass interference earlier. But
no, pretty good coverage.
Pretty good coverage, and you don't see. I said this last year a time or two. You don't see offensive pass interference called twice a year in high school football.
It has to be very blatant.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 in the Rick Barker red zone. Ball's at the 19. Anderson turns and hands off. Fakes it to Brock. Throws it out here again in the right flat to Wilden, which that play has had some success as the cornerback clears out. Wilden's going to pick up 6 on the passing catch. So 2nd and 4. Final score from Somerset's game. They are going to win 42-14, Mike. As flag comes flying in. They're going to have offsides on the Indians, so had to been in the neutral zone.
Good call. So that's 40 yards in penalties against Madison Central. Pulaski, believe it or not, 20 yards. And now the flag on the other side goes a mile in the air, and that may be on the coaching staff.
Yeah, that's sideline warning that we're going to get.
The coach came all the way down there behind the yardstick and said something to the official. So
yeah, he's barking, not happy about the call, and he's still chewing a little bit. You know, Somerset 42-14 win over Breathitt County. Breathitt County is a pretty good football team.
They're playing.
Anderson looking in the end zone. Wilden, he's got a defender draped all over him, and another flag comes in from that sideline. You're going to get ineligible man downfield. So you chew on the referee's ear the play before, and it gets you a call on the next play, maybe.
No.
I've done that a time or two.
I think you're speculating. If you're Pulaski County, we joke and everything. You're down 17 points. You've got to score, and if you have any hope, you got to do it rather quickly too. These penalties have got to stop.
So 5:17 on the clock. Maroons trailing 31-14 and threatening. Anderson has under pressure, throws it up to Brock, and he tries to high point it, but it is going to fall incomplete and will bring up.
I think it's 3rd down. Well, they got a deuce on the wall over there. So we've had so many penalties in this series, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so
they sent a double backside blitz there, and nobody was there to pick up either one of them.
Brock carries up the middle, finds a gap. Will get down across the 10, down to the 5. So a gain.
8.
Gain of 8.
Yep.
Bring up 3rd and goal from the 5. Hand off to Brock up the middle again, and the pressure again comes from that backside. Not picked up, and Brock is going to drag the tackler across the 5 down to the 3-yard line. So a gain of 2, 4th and goal from 3. And if you have any hopes, you have to convert.
You have to score.
Yeah, here. Clock winding down, 4:25. Fakes to Brock. Anderson takes it himself, and he will find his way into the end zone. 3rd score tonight. First one by Anderson. 4:21 mark of the 4th quarter. 4 yards out, pending the extra point. Trying to get this back to a 10-point game, Mike.
Yeah, you've got to find a stop in here somewhere, and Pulaski trying to decide 1 or 2. It's 1.
Yeah,
I will tell you that.
Yeah, you have to take the PAT. 2 makes it a 3-score game.
Yep.
Well, that's not true. Kick is up and through, and that will make it 31-21. 4 minutes, 21 seconds to go here on the Randall D. Turpin CPA scoreboard. PC trying to make the comeback.
Well, you've already used your onside, what they used to call a cannonball onside kick, that roll it up there and everybody goes down and stands in front of the receiving team, and the kicker does what Idlewild did earlier. So you don't have that one, but do you look to try to do something different rather than kick it deep like you've done all night, and the other times you try to pooch something in the air? Or
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the Indians should have 10 within 12 to 15 yards of the ball.
Well, that's, I put one guy deep, and like you said, my deployment is I'm close. Well, they're not even going to do that. They're going to say, if you kick it deep, we'll just go back and cover it before you can get here.
Well, we'll see. They've got 2 guys standing back at the 25 and 8 men within
boom it
10 yards, and it's going to be another one of those attempts at a onside kick, and it will be recovered by Nathan Ogle right at midfield. So onside kick is unsuccessful. 4:20 on the clock. Randall Turpin CPA scoreboard. Maroons trail at 31-21. You have to get a stop.
Yeah, you have to have a miracle, but the miracle has to start with a stop.
Yeah, I mean, down 10 with 4:20 to go. I mean, that's not.
Relief pitcher's back.
Well, and so an update from the Somerset game against Breathitt County. They won 42-21.
Paul.
And there is an attempt at a tackle. Mathis squirts away from the tackle and is going to turn a 3 or 4 yard loss into a 2 yard gain. Cam Hughes for Somerset tonight, Mike, had 212 yards rushing, 5 TDs, a 92-yard punt return for a touchdown, 6 touchdowns on the night for Cam Hughes.
Not a bad day's work.
Yeah, that's a pretty good night. And here, Cason Brock is putting on his own show.
He got a $136 on the ground tonight, plus a touchdown on the ground and in the air, and is 30 yards receiving.
Mathis off the left side, this time finds some space, and he may take this one to the house. Finley was giving chase, but Mathis is going to take this one in from 48 yards out. So again, you have to have a stop. You don't get it, and it turns into a 48-yard touchdown run by Bryant Mathis.
247 on the ground and 3 touchdowns for Mr. Mathis.
Giving Hughes a run for his money.
That's a pretty good night's work.
PAT attempt by Goblet is up and through, and the 10-point lead jumps back out to 17, 38-21. 3:20 remaining in this game. Randall Turpin CPA scoreboard.
247 and 3 touchdowns.
And now that's going to make it difficult.
Well, that talking about onside kick or not, kick it deep. Well, you choose to go onside, that's one thing. But if you had kicked it deep, that play goes to the house from 70 yards or 90 yards or whatever, because Mathis got behind the pack and had enough speed to beat everybody to the goal line. So that's a good-looking 1-5 football team, but there's been some gaps in this defense. Now they're worn out, I would assume. 42 rushes on the game and 17 passes. That's approaching 60 offensive snaps for Madison.
Now, I'm not ready to crown Madison Central the
no.
Class 6A District 8 champ.
No.
But I will say this is one of the better 1-5 ball teams I have ever seen.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But
this is a kick straight out of bounds.
Well, I just for fun, I decline this. I make them kick it again. If they're going to do that and be that blatant about it, I just say kick it again.
Well, I mean, 35-yard line, that's a pretty good starting spot.
It is.
And so
Anderson will trot back out, see who he's got with him in the backfield. I thought I saw I thought I saw forward, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah, he may be in there at a receiver spot, but now you've got Godby and Wethington Jr. will split out. Well, now Wethington Jr. will come this way, and
there's old
Brian Ford is in there at a tight end spot.
Now you got double teamed over here this time. That's what I thought.
Brock
forward
gets around the right side, gets a nice seam block makes one man miss at the 45. It will fight his way forward to the 50, so a gain of 15 on first down by Kaysen for another Kemper Furniture first down.
Yeah, he's over 100.5 on the game now.
Again, he's not going to have the numbers of Mathis or Hughes, but he is still having a great night. Now Anderson looking for Denmeyer deep, and you saw the coverage right there and what it has forced Denmeyer to have to do. The cornerback, again, playing with his back to the sideline and forced Denmeyer to have to run around him, and he's just not able to catch up with the ball and falls incomplete to bring up second down.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I've seen corners line up that blatantly open. You know, most of the times they're semi-open, but they're 90 degrees.
At that time, as Brock takes it off to the left side, he's still fighting for yards. He's going to pick up 9 on that carry, Mike, on second down. Now, that time they had 2 cornerbacks with their backs to the sideline.
Makes it easy on us, though. We can read their numbers.
Double covering Denmeyer. We're not going to give him with a safety over top.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's called respect.
Yeah. And now you see similar formation again. Fakes it to Brock, rolling to the right side. Now Anderson's going to tuck it and give a little shoulder shrug, but he will pick up 6 on the carry and will be another Kemper Furniture first down. Ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line.
Anderson's got 42 yards rushing on the game and a touchdown.
Something we didn't see him do early on in the season, has had more of a propensity to do it so far, as Brock takes it off to the left side. And again, good staying with the block right there by that lineman. I have to give him some credit. That was Camden Denham that had the lead block for Brock. Kaysen picks up 9 on that first down. And Denham just stayed with his block and allowed Brock to fight off of it. Anderson sticks it in Brock's belly, takes it himself, and he makes a couple of men miss. A nice run by Anderson. And he's going to get all the way down to the 9-yard line, Mike.
17 yards on the carry.
And that is a Kemper Furniture first down. He blows through the Rick Barker red zone, and they are first and goal at the 9-yard line. Brock takes the carry, looks up the middle, bounces it off the left side, and we'll take it for a gain of 4 down to the 5-yard line. And we have a injury. Nope, we're going to have a timeout.
Pulaski County with 1:37 remaining on the clock. 38-21. Brock has carried the football 27 times tonight for Pulaski County. I have been around this program, we hate to admit it, for about 26 years under Coach Hines. And a running back with 26 carries in this offense is almost unheard of. And that's something that this team may have to rely a little more on, because when your passing attack has put it in the air 35 times and you have 107 net yards out of that, sometimes the ground game is your best friend.
Yeah, and I mean, the crazy thing about this game, you had a 21-0 halftime score.
We did.
And the Maroons looked lifeless.
They did.
And in the third and fourth quarters, we have had offensive explosion.
Yes.
Now, Brock, again, Anderson is going to fake it to Brock and take it in himself from 5 yards out for Zach Anderson. That's his second rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with you. Pulaski had 2 first downs at halftime. I don't want to keep beating on that horse, but that drive put them at 20. So that's 18 here in the second half. The offense in the first half was non-existent.
Right. With the exception of Brock. And I mean, he even then hadn't done much. Mounts PAT is up and good. So 1:33 remaining in this one. And we went back and forth from 10 to 17, and we're back to 10 points again. You still have 2 timeouts left. You have 1:33 on the clock. You have to recover the onside kick and hope something good happens.
And coming up in the Alton Blakely Family of Dealerships postgame show. By the way, that was another Citizens National Bank touchdown, and Pulaski County actually ran 3 or 4 plays in the Rick Barker red zone on that series. So want to make sure we get that in there. Our Alton Blakely Family of Dealerships post-game show, Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game, the United Cumberland Bank Defensive Player of the Game, and the Whamco Lineman of the Game. And I want to emphasize the Kemper Furniture first down machine for Pulaski County was broken in the opening half. They only had 2. They've got 20 now. So a little better performance, but still it's going to be a loss at home.
As we get set for the onside kick.
Whoops.
Idlewind fakes it. False starts. Now we've got way offsides.
Pulaski was offsides, and the flag surely came out.
No.
Surely they called that.
And Coach Blair is having a heart attack over there on the sideline. And you also, something that you're not supposed to have happen.
Blocking,
downfield. And he blew up.
That's a personal foul against the kicking team, but the offsides was rather blatant.
And so you had no flag thrown for either offense.
No harm, and you've got a new quarterback.
Yeah. So
no, you don't.
The ball will be placed at the 48-yard line.
No, you don't. I'm sorry. That's still Wells.
No, you've got Wells, and you have DeBruce is back in the ball game, and he gets a carry, and we'll take it up to the 50-yard line, a gain of 2, and Coach Hines will call his second timeout of the half. 1:27 remaining in this one. 38-28.
Usually to get a jump on things, Chris, when the game's like this and they start taking their timeouts to try to stay in the game, I start trying to do and cheat and do my scoring recap or my stats recap. I've torn these pages up multiple times and thrown them away after I start that because then something happens and you get caught tricked. But stats are going to even out a whole lot in this one. At first half, Pulaski had a total of 69 yards of offense. Madison Central had 188, which is more than twice. This half, the numbers are going to be pretty close.
And it just goes to show you that the stats and the numbers will lie to you.
And as Dabo Sweeney said last week, the most useless stat in football is the halftime score. I think that's hilarious. Stats are just what they are, they're numbers.
KJ Wells, pistol formation. Will turn around and hand it off to Mathis again off the right side, and he's going to get enough for the first down and slide down. He's going to be just short of the first down marker, so it'll be 3rd and 1, but Coach Hines will use his last time out. And 1:20 on the clock.
2:54 just for reference for Mathis on the game.
3rd and 1. And the first down carry. Yeah, I'm sure they got 2 plays to make it. They get 1 yard, and the ball game's, for all intents and purposes, is over at that point.
And Pulaski cannot stop the clock again.
Right.
All right, next week you and I will make the long trip to London for a district game that has going to have major
implications.
Southwestern went to 2-0 in the district tonight, and they've got a game with South Laurel, and I don't mean any disrespect to South Laurel, but Southwestern's going to be 3-0 when Pulaski and them meet in 3 weeks on this field.
Right. So it needs to be, PC needs to take care of business next week.
They have to.
Mathis will take the carry across the 40 down to the 39, give him the 38. So a gain of 4, and that will be enough for the first down. And Mike, as I said just before that play, if they get the first down, for all intents and purposes, the game is over. And now all the Indians have to do are take 2 knees, and this one will be over.
What if I told you the first downs are even?
I wouldn't believe you.
Well, you don't have to believe it. He may not even be right, but it's pretty close. Okay, George is walking in because we're going to take a knee.
Yeah, under center for the first time tonight, and it is the greatest formation for a football team
Herschel Walker's favorite play, they used to say.
Take the knee.
All right, partner. Pulaski's going to fall to
2-5.
2-5. Madison Central is going to move to 2-5 on the season.
And Mathis will take another knee, and that will be the end of this one. And you can see the excitement from Madison Central because, again, that's a pretty good ball club that came in at 1-5 that has been dealing with some injuries. They've played some really tough teams and have forced them to use some younger players, and they come in tonight and they get the 38-28 final victory over the Maroons.
I got some good news for them.
Yeah.
They get Frederick Douglass next week.
That's right. So we are going to step out. We come back, I'll give you a scoring rundown. Mike will give you some stats, individual stats, and then we will give you our offensive, defensive players of the game and our Whamco linemen of the game.
Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175-100, here to come in 175-2. I 200 down, got it here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.
Welcome back to Pulaski High School, where the Maroons go down in defeat to the Madison Central Indians by a final score of 38-28. I'm going to give you a scoring recap, rundown of the Maroons' touchdowns here. First one tonight, finally in the third quarter, Kason Brock would take it in from 26 yards out. Kason Brock has been your offense.
Well, he's got 70 yards.
And the Indians are loading the box.
He's got 70 plus.
He's going to take it into the end zone, possibly fighting for it, and he will get there. Kason Brock with a 26. Then Zach Anderson would find Kason Brock from 27 yards out at the 9:57 mark of the fourth quarter.
First down, rolling in.
Anderson feeling a little bit better in the pocket, going to dump it out to Brock on the left side. He bobbles it, but makes the catch, makes one man miss, makes another man miss, and he's going to take it all the way in the house. So 27 yards out, and Kason, that would cut the lead to 24-14. Madison Central would extend the lead back out to 17 after Bryant Mathis would take it in from 67 yards out. But then Zach Anderson, as the Maroons drove it down the field, would take it in himself.
To score.
Yeah, here. Clock winding down, 4:25. Fakes to Brock. Anderson takes it himself, and he will find his way into the end zone. Third score tonight, first one by Anderson. So after fighting their way back in to a 10-point deficit again, Madison Central would again extend the lead out to 17 after Mathis would take it in from 48 yards out. Then Zach Anderson would put a cap on the scoring, taking in from 5 yards out. Third and fourth quarters, we have had offensive explosion.
Yes.
Now Brock. Again, Anderson is going to fake it to Brock and take it in himself from 5 yards out for Zach Anderson. That's his second rushing touch. And that touchdown would cut the lead to 10, 38-28. a little too late. But the one thing that you have to be proud of this Maroon team is the way they came out of the locker room at halftime. You know, they could have very easily mailed this one in and not continued to fight, not put up any kind of battle, and they came out and put up 28 points against a team that, as Mike said, and you'll hear about the stats, that basically just dominated and shut you down in the first half. You had 2 first downs in the first half. Zach Anderson, for whatever reason, was very inconsistent in the first half. He was not able to find his receivers. He actually threw 2 interceptions in the first half. We're not able to really get much of a running game going in the first half. Brock did what he could, but then they come out in the second half, and the offense decided to show up. The defense just had a hard time stopping Mathis tonight. So 38-28. And, Mike, you got some numbers for us?
I do have a whole bunch of numbers, but the one that really matters is the one that you just gave a moment ago. Pulaski will come up short at the end of this one, 38-28. Pulaski County on the game. Forget all that first half stuff. Game stats: 20 first downs, 36 rushes for 250 yards, 13 of 35 through the air for 107 yards. That's 71 offensive snaps for 357 yards of total offense. Returned to 8 times for 155 yards. They punted 4 times for a 28-yard average, all those in the opening half. Penalized 4 times for 35 yards. No fumbles, 3 interceptions on the game. For Madison Central, 19 first downs on the game. They had 11 at halftime, by the way. They rushed 45 times for 310 yards. 6 out of 17 through the air was Wells for 85 yards. 52 snaps, 395 yards of total offense. Returned 3 punts for 28 yards, punting 3 times for a 37-yard average, penalized 5 times for 45 yards. They fumbled twice and lost one of those. They threw 2 picks, so the turnovers end up even at 3 on the game. Madison Central, Mathis, 28 carries, 259 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Not too shabby, to quote a famous football prognosticator. DeBruce had 15 for 57, and that was pretty much it. Through the air, Morrison, 4 catches for 62 yards and a couple touchdowns. And Wells, as we gave you, he only 85 yards through the air, but 2 touchdowns figured into that. For Pulaski County, big night for Kason Brock. 27 carries for 190 yards. Idlewind, 1 carry for 3. And Zach Anderson, 8 carries for 47 yards and a couple touchdowns on the game. By the way, Brock did have a rushing touchdown. Denmeyer, 3 catches for 24. Brock had 3 catches for 30, one of those being a 28-yard touchdown catch. Wethington had 1 catch for 10. Idlewind, 1 for 3. And Pulaski County's leading receiver yardage and numbers-wise tonight, Wilden, 5 catches for 40 yards. Pulaski County comes up short. They are now 2-4. Next Friday night, we will be in London, and Pulaski will go up against another team that likes to line it up and run the football. And North Laurel will be wanting to reestablish the fact that they're one of the division or one of the district hope to win a district after Southwestern took care of them 28-0 last week. But Chris, you can't spot a team like Madison Central 21 in the opening half without putting anything up to match it. And Pulaski, the second half, numbers don't lie, the eyes don't lie. It was a much different football game in the second half, but they play 2 halves, and Pulaski comes up short.
So, some positives. Okay. You can take some positives out of some negatives and things here before I get into naming our players of the game. Penalties have been a problem,
Yep.
and they only have 4 for 35 tonight. Your rushing attack that has been good this year was dominant for tonight. As you said, you have 36 carries for 250 yards. So I take those positives from this game. Now, obviously, as you mentioned, go up against the North Laurel. That's a good rush defense. Held Southwestern to 21, I think it was last week. 28, sorry. And the ball against you.
They held this team.
Right. So, anyway, so there's some good things to come from it. Now, some hardware.
Yeah.
Offensively,
Case and Brock.
Yeah, I didn't think there was going to be much of an argument there on that one.
Yep.
Case and Brock is our Somerset Community College Offensive Player of the Game. Our Whamco Lineman of the Game. And again, you run for 200 and...
You're looking for total yards?
Rush 250 yards.
Yes.
Your offensive line had to do something, and I saw it a couple of times, and one that really stuck out to me, and I pointed out Camden Denham on the left side of the line, our Whamco lineman of the game. Defensively, you give up 38 points. There's not a whole lot to brag about, but the one thing that we did see that was good in the first half is Braden Ping had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at that.
And so other than that, there was a couple of linemen that did a pretty good job. But, and I said, the offensive line for Pulaski gives 250 yards, but defensively you give up a total of 395 yards. Braden Ping is our defensive player of the game.
That is the United Cumberland Bank defensive player.
That's what I was looking for. I was trying to get there. United Cumberland Bank defensive player of the game, Braden Ping. So for Mike Kerr, I'm Chris Staten from Pulaski High School. 38-28 your final. We will see you again next week.
From London,
as the Maroons will take on the North Laurel Jaguars. I thank Pat Harris on the camera tonight, Kevin Lloyd, and Abby Hanna helping us up in the booth tonight.
Oh.
My niece, so we appreciate her helping us out.
And if I'm the Wally Pip of this broadcast and may never be heard from again, it's been fun, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate all of our sponsors for making this happen. Without them, we couldn't do this. See everyone next week. Be safe. Good night.
Toyota of Somerset, we're known for great service before and after the sale and so much more. Since 1988, Toyota of Somerset has been supporting our local communities. And we sell and service what a number of different rating services call the most fuel-efficient, dependable, and safe vehicles on the road. Toyota. Toyota of Somerset, South Highway 27 Somerset, and online at toyotaofsomerset.com. At Toyota of Somerset, we're all about you.
Here to come in 175-100, here to come in 175-2. I 200 down, again, here to come in a quarter.
Like successful sports programs, putting together a successful auction takes a lot of planning, organization, attention to detail, and teamwork. And you need dedicated and committed people pulling together. At Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we've been successfully selling the country since 1965. Ford Brothers Auctioneers. Give us a call or visit us online at FordBrothersInc.com.
Ford Brothers Auctioneers, we're selling the country.